Hello, and good morning, everybody. So I got a treat for you. Bryan Kohlberger is a little upset. Aww. Good morning, Alicia. Good to see you. Risa, it's been a while. Hello, beautiful. And thank you so much for the compliment. Hello. Thank you. Get good afternoon. So good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you guys are. I hope you guys are having a wonderful start to your weekend. And hello, Git. Always good to see you. Jean P. Good morning. Interesting. Yes. I'm a little on the fence about what is going on here. But we do, if you guys remember my last live, I said it's odd because we only had a couple of documents that were released with the second dump. And it's like, what's going on? Well, now they've all been released. So we're going to go over the ones that were released. There are still, I think, about 8 or 9 that are going to remain sealed. And I have found out that they are the crime scene actual photos that were attached to the motions or whatever. Or Bryan Kohlberger's mental health reports. Apparently, we are not allowed to know that, which is fine. I mean, I'm grateful because here in Canada, we don't get any of this. So I'm grateful. But yes, interesting because Bryan Kohlberger is pulling a fit and he has filed some new documents. We're going to go over those first. And then we'll get into the documents that have been unsealed. Good morning, Charlotte. I hope you are doing well. Okay. So I'm just going to share my entire screen so I don't have to worry about whether you guys can see stuff or whatever. Okay, so this is the record. So what I want to do before I show you what Bryan Kohlberger has filed, I want to show you a few things because I've been going over this since 6 a.m. And it's like, okay, why is he pulling such a fit, right? So in the documents that we have already seen, we've seen this one, right? Let me blow it up for you so you can see it. Now, this was back on August 27th. Okay. This is a stipulation, which means agreed to by both parties regarding the restitution. Okay, so along with Bryan Koberger's, and I got something else that's interesting that you guys are going to love. When I seen this, it was like, yes, finally. So we'll get to that, but I want to just give you some backstory here so you understand what's going on. Okay. So back in August, when they agreed to this plea deal, there was also stipulations that were made. Okay, this is one of them that Bryan Koberger stipulated to paying the Crime Victims Compensation Program $14,393.13. He agreed to pay Jim and Stacy Chapin $5,720.72. I'm not going to say the cents, you guys. Jeffrey Kirk Kernoodle, that is Xana's father, he agreed to pay $8,843. Jean says, Will, you're so right with that. We haven't heard the last of EK. Yeah. Yep. So also, you guys, it was interesting. In one of my July lives that we went over the documents, you can go back and look. In July, I said to you guys, I said, and it's going to fall right in line with this. I said, I've got the feeling in my gut, you guys. And when I get this feeling, I'm generally right. So in July, when we were going, I believe it was July, we were going over some of the documents, and even the thumbnail says, plea deal coming. Because as I was going through these documents, and don't forget, I worked in criminal law for the most prominent lawyers in all of Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. And there's some really high-priced lawyers there in criminal law. I said, just by these documents, there's going to be a deal. And what happened, you guys? What happened? So just saying. Anyway, let's get back to this. So he agreed to pay this. He also agreed to these. Okay, so we're going to go over them. These restitutions and fines. Okay, just quickly. So we already know, what was this one? This one was the Chapins and Xana's dad. Okay. Then there was, here's another one. Okay, so here's the $8,843 to Xana's dad. This is going to be the Ethan Chapin's parents, the $5,720. This is going to be, here we go, let's blow this up. The Crime Victims Compensation. So there's the orders, okay, for those. And please forgive me if I do cough a little bit. I am almost over my cold, but I am getting over a cold. Doing a lot better than I was a week or so ago. Okay, here's another one where Jeffrey Kernoodle got another $2,500, okay, on top of the other money that he was already awarded. This one is to Karen Laramine. Who is Karen? Is that Xana's mom, or is that Maddie's mom? Karen Laramine. Laramine. Gets my go-to. He knows who these people are. I get them all mixed up, you guys. Me and my great memory, like you guys know me for. If it wasn't for a bad memory, I wouldn't have a memory at all. Jean says, you know your legal stuff, that's for sure. Yes. Like, I understand that while we're waiting for Git, I understand that there are a lot of differences between Canadian and American law. and how things are done. Okay, there's Git. Thank you, Git. You are awesome. Like I said, you guys get knows the stuff. So that's Maddie's mom was awarded 2,500. I do know that the laws are a little different, but when I see documents like this, and it's how it doesn't matter what the Idaho code is compared to Canadian this or that. That's not what I'm looking at. I'm looking at the wording like this: against defendant and in favor in the amount payable through per annum. Like, it's the wording that it doesn't matter where you are, the words mean the same thing. Against is always against someone, something. You know what I mean? So I hope I don't explain stuff very well either. So Gene says BK was supposed to pay for the 4 brutal homicides with his own life, so now he's probably trying to get out of paying financial. No, he's not trying to get out of paying. Let's just get through this. Okay, so then here's the next one. He was ordered to pay Steve Goncalves and or Christy, which is Kaylee's parents, the amount of $5,000. Ethan Chapin's parents, $5,000. Kara Kernoodle. Okay, so that's Xana's mom, 2,500 right here. And some of them have been worded extra. As we've seen, Xana's dad got 2 different amounts, right? So there's Xana's mom getting 2,500, and Ben Mogan, which is Maddie's dad, 2,500. So some got 5,000, some got 2,500. I don't know why Xana's dad got double payments. I don't know. So those are what they were ordered to pay. But there was another one. Let me see if I can find it here. Because the total amount came to like $254,000 between what he's supposed to pay to the courts, to the victims' funds, all this stuff, plus what he's supposed to pay to all the victims. The total amount came to $254,000, right? Well, inmates get paid, like if they work while they're incarcerated, and they're entitled to a certain amount per month. It's not a lot. I think it's like $7 a month they get. And they also get paid like, I don't know, like $1 an hour or 50 cents an hour. I don't know what the going rate is for working in a jail. Like, you can work in the kitchen, you can work in laundry, cleaning, like doing the floors and stuff. There's all kinds of ways you can make extra money in jail. So anything that he would make would be confiscated. Now, we were talking a lot about, I don't know if they would be able to take some of their commissary. I believe that they could probably take half. Like, I know here in Canada, I believe that anything put into their commissary, they take half. So I don't know if they can do it there. Now, anything that he would make on interviews or book deals or stuff like that, we're really concerned about that, right? It's going to be addressed. Let's see what happens there. Now, this isn't going to stop his parents from doing anything on his behalf, like money going to, instead of Bryan Kohberger going to his family. I don't know how that's going to work, but let's just continue. But I know somewhere, you guys, and I have shown it in my prior lives, the total restitution that he was ordered to pay with all of this, okay, was like $254,000, which means, buddy, you're never going to have good shampoo. Anyway, so now Bryan Kohberger has filed. I want to do this first because now there's something new that the state has requested. The state put in another request to the judge. Comes now, state of Idaho, by and through the Latah County prosecution attorney, respectfully moves to court for orders of restitution herein against the defendant and in favor of Steve and Christy Goncalves, for another $20,409.32. And Karen wants another $6,920 on top of what she was already awarded. Okay? So, guess who's not happy about that? So this was filed right up here, October 7th. Okay, here we go. Comes now. Here we go, you guys. Hello, Fruit Fly. Good to see you. Good morning. Good morning. You guys are awesome. And I want to thank the few, I know yesterday we did a live where you guys could ask questions on the cases that we were covering regarding the children that are missing. And there was some super chats in there, which I thank you guys a lot because this is a lot of work doing stuff like this. So the super chats are very much appreciated. And I got notification from PayPal. There was quite a few PayPals in there. So tomorrow during just before I do my live mini reads for you guys, I will personally thank each and every one of you who also helped out the channel by donating through PayPal. And I will only mention your first name. So I wanted to make that clear. Thank you. Thank you so much for the super chats and for your donations through PayPal. It does greatly help me and helps keep this channel running. So if you guys are able to, super chats are greatly appreciated. Let's get going with this. There's quite a few documents to go through today, so I want to get through this one because this is a new filing, and they're probably going to have a hearing on this, which we will cover, you guys. So it comes now, Bryan C. Kohlberger buying through his attorneys of record, and we're going to also get a little bit of insight here as to what the victims are saying these payments are for, right? By his attorneys of records and hereby objects to the state's request for additional restitution filed September 22nd, 2025. So there was the one filed in September, and then there was one filed in August too. The grounds for objection are that 1, the plea agreement specified funeral expenses and funds reimbursed through Idaho's Crime Victim Compensation Fund in the amount to be determined within 60 days from July 23rd, 2025. They're saying that they missed it by 1 day. Mr. Kohlberger stipulated to those amounts, resulting in court orders in the amount of $28,956.88 on August 29th, 2025. The additional funds sought do not qualify as an economic loss under Idaho Code 195304 because Steve and Christy Goncalves and Karen Laramie received extensive funds through multiple GoFundMe campaigns that specifically asked for and covered expenses sought. Mr. Kohlberger has no ability now or in the future to pay restitution because he is serving 4 consecutive life sentences plus 10 years. Procedural history. A judgment was entered against Mr. Kohlberger on July 23, 2025. The plea agreement stated the state may seek restitution orders regarding funeral expenses and crime victims' compensation reimbursement in an amount to be determined. The judgment of conviction ordered, oh, there it is, $251,000. I thought it was 54, but it's $251,227.50 in criminal fines, fees, $20,000 as a civil judgment for each of the families named in the indictment. So they already got $20,000 each, then $2,500 each, and then $5,000 each. They got quite a bit of money, right, for each of the families named in the indictment, and also directed the state to notice restitution for hearing if the parties cannot stipulate to an amount within 60 days. With respect to the Crime Victims Compensation Program and funeral expenses, the parties so stipulated on August 27th to $28,956.88, and corresponding orders were entered on August 28th. So that's where they came up with all this money, right? In the fines and fees and all these civil judgments. Together, they all totaled that. On September 22nd, 2025, the state filed its state's request for restitution and motion to seal exhibit seeking an additional. So Christy and Steve Goncalves wants an additional 20,409, and Karen, which is Maddie's mom, wants an additional 6,920. An itemized statement with receipts was attached under seal. No documentation showing reimbursement by the Crime Victims Compensation Fund was included. The receipts relate to travel and accommodation. Okay, so pursuant to IC 18, I'm not going to go through all these, you guys. Fines on each count, 1 to 5, in the amount of $50,000 for a total of $250,000 judgment of conviction. So each family was given the $50,000, right? Court costs and various fees on each count, 1 to 5, $10, 17, blah, 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 blah. It came to $1,227.50. That is for court costs and various fees on each count. Civil judgments were filed on August 28, 2025. This motion was filed 61 days after the judgment of conviction and commitment filed on July 23rd, which stated they only had 60 days to file, but they filed 61 days after the judgment. The state produced receipts for urns totaling $1,420 for Kaylee and $1,587 for Maddie. Mr. Kohlberger does not disagree that these qualify as funeral expenses, but does request that the court consider all factors set forth in Idaho Code Section 195304, subsection 7. Argument. The plea agreement. Plea agreement is ambiguous about the restitution categories Mr. Kohlberger agreed to pay, and once receipts and verification were provided, he stipulated accordingly. So he's saying that they gave all the receipts for everything. This was the total, and that's what he agreed to pay, was this $251,000, blah, blah, blah. So there was, I think there was quite a bit that was paid to the Goncalves family and Maddie's or Xana's family. But anyway, so he stipulated to that. This court must consider contractual terms that are expressly provided in the plea agreement, as well as those contractual terms that are implied. In State versus Fowler, given the express language in the plea agreement, the only additional receipts submitted that may fall within the contractual terms are those for the urns. The state has an obligation to stand by the terms of the plea agreement that Mr. Kohlberger relied upon. Economic loss. So they're referring to this court case here. Economic loss includes, but is not limited to, the value of property taken, destroyed, broken, or other harmed, lost wages, and direct out-of-pocket losses or expense, such as medical expense resulting from the criminal conduct, but does not include less tangible damage, such as pain and suffering, wrong death, or emotional distress. Emphasis added. They're going to bring this up. They're going there, you guys. They are going there. Several GoFundMe campaigns resulted in funds raised for the Goncalves and Laramie families. Specifically, one GoFundMe campaign. There was quite a few GoFundMes that were out there, okay? Specifically, one GoFundMe campaign for Madison and Kaylee raised $73,493. These funds were promoted as going to both families, and they linked the GoFundMe. Hello, Shannon. And it was last donated to on October 6th, or last visited October 6th. Another GoFundMe campaign for Karen raised $48,815 to help Maddie's family. Okay, so Karen is Maddie's mom. To help Maddie's family attend the Idaho trial. So they're saying half of this is for Maddie, and then there was one specifically for Maddie for another $48,000. And also clarified that the funds were in fact used to travel to Boise for hearings, including the sentencing. And they link that one there is just for Maddie. This one here was for Maddie and Kaylee. A third GoFundMe campaign for Steve and Christy. So they had one for Maddie and Kaylee together, which got 73,000. Maddie had a separate one, which raised 48,000, and then Steve and Christy Goncalves had a separate one that raised 85,000. That's a lot of money for the purpose of attending court hearings in Boise after the venue was changed. So that you add half of the 73,000 to this. So that's over $100,000 that the Goncalves got. Plus, on top of that, what they were ordered to pay, I think there was a 5,000, a 2,500 plus. Now the courts are the lawyers asking for another 20,000. So you're looking at probably in total 150,000. And that's not including the civil that they can now go after for wrongful death and pain and suffering and everything. And then Maddie, 48,000 plus half of this, plus what Maddie's family got, I think it was 5,000. So they're under 100,000. But the Goncalves here are already at like 130,000 maybe, plus more of what they're asking for the purpose of attending. Okay. So they're linking the GoFundMes here. Given the specific funds sought and obtained for expenses to travel to Boise, the request should be denied because neither family suffered an economic loss for that which the state seeks reimbursement. Both families did indicate a desire to refund any donations after the case resolved after sentencing, but whether they were able to accomplish this or donors requested funds returned is not included in the state's motion. And I think everybody said, just keep it. Just keep it. I believe that's what they had said on their family page, that the donations, they put up, I think, a page or something where people could request refunds if they wanted them, and they had received none. And the state is saying the defense is saying that nobody has given any indication that those funds were returned. Idaho Code Section 1953-047 provides guidance in determining whether restitution would be appropriate, and the states that the court should consider the amount of economic loss sustained by the victims as a result of the offense, the financial resources, need, and earning ability of the defendant, and other factors as the court deems appropriate. In State versus Foiler, economic loss is addressed above, and in light of the GoFundMe donations, the specific funds for which the Goncalves and Karen Laramie seek reimbursed travel to Boise, there is no sustained economic loss. Additionally, Mr. Kohberger has no ability to earn money or pay money given for his 4 consecutive life sentences plus 10 years. Unlike other cases where the Idaho courts have ordered restitution for short and long prison sentences, Mr. Kohberger's is different. He will never have the ability to pay restitution, and even through he stipulated to restitution amounts, there is no foreseeable ability for him to ever make payment. In the State versus Garcia under Idaho, here we go. This is where I said yes. Under Idaho law, he will never be able to profit by way of book, movie, or entertainment of any kind. Now, I did get excited about this, and then I looked into it. There was they are talking about a case in State versus Garcia where they invoked this law that Mr. Garcia could never make any money, but it has to be invoked by either in the deal or by the prosecution, and they didn't do it with BRYAN KOHBERGER. Yes, he said that he was going to reimburse them if they wanted to be reimbursed, but I don't think anybody has requested to be in. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, they should be able to keep it anyway. It was done in good faith, and people did it to help them um, because of Kaylee, right? So that's why it was given. And unless somebody specifically says, I want to be reimbursed, I feel like they are entitled to it. But also, does that give them still the right if they're saying that that's what it was for and they didn't have to use it? I mean, they did have to go back and forth to Boise quite a few times. I'm sure it didn't amount to the amount that they got. But if people who donated it, with good intentions and everything else, and they don't want their donations back, I feel like they should be able to keep it, right? But Steve did say if anybody wants their donations returned, just let us know. We'll return it. And I haven't seen anything saying where anybody, if I had donated, I don't care if it was $5,000 I donated, I wouldn't ask for it back. Like they lost their daughter. The pain and suffering doesn't end with them at sentencing. It doesn't end there. This is ongoing for the rest of their life. Like who knows, in a year from now, somebody ends up flipping out and needing some medical help because flashbacks or this is ongoing. Their child was red drummed. So that's me personally, how I feel about it. I feel like their pain and suffering and what they got to deal with um, doesn't stop just because Bryan Kohlberger got sentenced. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. So, because this wasn't invoked in the plea, I don't know if it applies to Bryan Kohlberger. Let me see here. I'm going to do this. Can Bryan Kohlberger profit from his story? Okay, so this is what I got. I'm going to put it over here. So I did AI mode. Under Idaho law, Bryan Kohlberger cannot legally profit from his story, as any income from recounting his crimes would be seized and directed to his victims' families. Now, that doesn't mean that once all that money that he owes, once that's all paid, that doesn't mean that then he's not going to get any money. Idaho law on criminal profit. Well, Idaho does not have a son of Sam law like some other states. It does have specific legislation designed to prevent criminals from financially benefiting from their offenses. If a criminal signs a deal for a book, movie, or magazine article about their crimes, the money goes into a state-run escrow account. Civil lawsuits for victims. The funds in the escrow account are made available to the victims or their families, who can file a lawsuit within 5 years of the account's opening to claim the money. Court fines. In addition to the law on profiting from crimes, Kohlberger has already been ordered to pay a significant fines and civil penalties to the victims, which any funds would go towards satisfying. One report states he was fined $270,000. That's including the burglary and everything else, right? If the victims' families do not file civil lawsuits to claim the money within 5 years, the law states the funds could possibly be returned to the convicted person. Okay, so what does that mean? If he pays all of this, right? He pays that, and a civil lawsuit, say they file a civil lawsuit and they get more money there. If that's paid, right? So if any civil lawsuit, any of the fines that he was ordered to pay, the 270,000, right, in total, if that is paid, Say he makes a movie and he gets $2 million, right? The 270 is paid, but I don't think he'll do that until after he sees if there's going to be a civil lawsuit. They only have a certain amount of time to file civil lawsuits. So they file a civil lawsuit and say they're granted another 500,000. So if the 500,000 is paid and the 270 is paid, guess what? And on top of that, if they are granted anything in the civil lawsuit, they have to then apply to this escrow that the government is holding the rest of the money that he got for making, say he made a movie, say there's like 1.6 million. They would then have to file to get whatever they got from their civil lawsuit, to get it from that fund. And if they don't do it within 5 years, okay, it says here, if the victim's family do not file civil lawsuits to claim the money within 5 years, the law states the funds could possibly be returned to the convicted person. However, with the Kohberger's high-profile case and the civil lawsuits that are likely to be filed, it's extremely improbable that he would ever receive the money. So, I mean, it depends on how much money he gets, right? And when they file their lawsuits. Now, this is going to be a catch-22. They only got a certain amount of time to file their civil lawsuits. They know right now he's got no money, right? So the court is going to say, well, you know, okay, I'm going to award you the 500,000. You're never going to see it. You know, if that's what it comes to, right? I don't know what the court would decide because of all the money that they've already received, right? But whatever the judge awards, that's final. So say they're awarded 500,000 and Bryan has, and then a year later, Bryan gets $2 million. All he is legally obligated to pay is from the civil lawsuit. So I feel like he'll wait out the allotted time. I don't know what the time is in Idaho to file a civil suit regarding this. I don't know, but there's usually time limits on it. I think he's going to wait out that time before he agrees to do anything. So he knows exactly what he's dealing with in the suits. He already knows he's got this 270,000 he's got to pay. He's going to add up everything from these civil lawsuits, and he's going to request probably a lot more than that, whatever that total is going to be, if somebody wants to make a movie or whatever. That's what I think he's going to do, because once those payments are made, then he gets the rest. Unless what he does is he has his family make the money and then they just fund his, okay, hang on. Let's ask this. Can fines owed be deducted from commissary? Hang on, you guys. Okay. Okay. In Idaho. Okay, I'm going to show you this. So this is what I got. Yes, in Idaho, money in an inmate's account, including funds sent for commissary, can be used to pay off court-ordered fines and restitution. These deductions are typically automatic, and a percentage of any money added to the inmate's account is garnished to go towards the financial obligations. Okay, so it is the same as here in Canada. It's a percentage. So if his family, if they set it up that his family makes all the money, right? For any movie deal, book deal, whatever, if they set it up that it's his family that gets paid instead of him, and they just put X amount of dollars in his commissary, the jail can only take a certain amount of that commissary. So there's ways that he can get around this, right? There's ways he can get around it, you guys. But anyway, let's go on. Sorry for going on a rant. Right. But like I said, yeah, the victims don't have any ill intentions at all, Jean. I agree. Idaho state legislature needs to push to make it law no one benefits from. There is a law, okay? It's right here. Under Idaho law, he will never be able to profit by any way of book or movie entertainment of any kind. But she's talking about this case. It was invoked in that case. Now, I don't know if it's automatic or if the prosecution has to ask for that. That's where I'm a little confused. Good morning, Nana. But there's a way for him to get around that, and that is by his parents making the deal. You know what I mean? And the money all going to his parents or his sisters. And they in turn start putting, say, $1,000 a month in his commissary, which means I know here in Canada, they take half. So whatever's put into your commissary, if you owe restitution or fines, they take it out of your commissary, but they only take half. So he still has $500 a month. If they put $1,000 a month, they can only take half. He's still getting $500 a month for commissary. Or protection. Be a lot of things he could use. They put 2,000. I mean, it's going to be a lot of money, right? So if he does it himself, right? If the money all goes to him, he would have to pay all the restitution and everything would come out of that money, and any civil lawsuits would come out of that money, and he would be given the rest. Now, and that's by law. Now, if he does it where he sets it up, his parents get all the money, then the restitution and everything is going to have to come out of his commissary. So if they only put, even if they put $2,000 a month, half of it would go into paying the fines and the restitution, and the other 1,000 he would get to keep. Right? So he could pay $500 for protection. He could buy all the snacky snacks and poppy pop and whatever he wanted. It's sickening. But let's go on. Conclusion. For all the reasons stated above, Mr. Kohberger objects to the request for additional restitution. He waives his own attendance at a hearing on this matter and requests that he not be transported because his defense counsel will be present. So they're asking for a hearing. They're going to have a hearing on this, and we are going to cover it. So make sure you're subscribed to the channel, everybody, and make sure you got that notification bell on, because when this goes to a hearing, we are going to cover it. And I'm sure the family members are going to be there. Okay? So, now, okay, let me just go and turn my heat up a little bit, you guys, because it's freezing in here. We're going to get into the newly released documents. Okay. Okay. So I have the list. Some of them are not going to be shown. Where was it? This one? No. Uh, Hang on a sec, you guys. I think it was this one. Oh, come on. Hang on. This one. Okay, it's down here somewhere. Anyway, there was a bunch of them that Ann Taylor said she did not want unsealed. And I told you at the beginning what they were. They were photos of the crime scene. There were descriptions of the crime scene, some personal information. There was also, hello, Donna Cat. Good to see you. There was also BRYAN KOHBERGER's evaluations or information regarding his mental health or whatever that they didn't want. There was about 8 of them. So let's go down the list. These ones we've already gone through. This is going to start like at the end of the 5th month. So these ones, anything in here that was sealed that we were able to see, like the sheriff's returns, we've already seen all these documents. He's going backwards from the newest documents back to, it's going to go all the way back to 2022. But he's starting with the newest documents first. I get it because these are documents that he dealt with and sealed or allowed. So I get it. Okay, so the first unsealed document that we're going to see is from January, February, May 30th. Parties proposed stipulation by jury instruction. This is just one page, you guys. There's nothing else attached to it. It just says, comes now, State of Idaho, by and through prosecuting attorneys in the above named defendant, by and through undersigned attorney record, hereby stipulate to the attached proposed jury instructions consistent with the court's directive obtained contained in April 17th order on defendant's motion in limine regarding Rylene Nolan and touch and contact DNA. That's all this states. There's a couple of them like that. This one here is the next one. They're basically talking about the same thing. That they, pursuant to the court's directive contained in the first full paragraph of page 13 of the April 17 order on the defendant's motion in limine, Rylene Nolan touch DNA contact. That's when they were fighting over what can be said during the trial about using touch DNA or like how they were able to describe the DNA that was on the sheath, right? So the state respectfully submits the attached draft jury instruction to be used in the event the terms touch DNA, contact DNA, or trace DNA are inadvertently used during the trial. I'm going to let you guys know too that apparently the DNA that was on the sheath wasn't on just the snap. It was on the back part of the sheath also. There was DNA there too of BRYAN KOHBERGER's. It was in one of the documents that was unsealed and then sealed again right away. So it's like, oops, that shouldn't have been unsealed for whatever reason. I don't know. But they said that the way that people were understanding that DNA that was on there, it was like everybody was thinking it was like a speck. And the analysts, the DNA analyst person stated, no. There was enough DNA on that snap alone that I could have run 100 tests. But and that's why the state was arguing over how they could describe that DNA. And to me, they should have just been able to say there was DNA on the snap instead of touch or contact or trace, because people took trace DNA and ran with it, right? Oh, it was just like a speck. No, apparently, from what, like I said, the analyst that does the DNA, analyst and everything, said that there was lots of DNA on there. Lots. So that's what they were arguing about here. It's now being unsealed. Here is the state's proposed supplemental jury instruction. And this, again, they were fighting over what could be said, how they could address the DNA that was found on the snap. Are they going to use trace? Are they going to use contact? Are they going to use touch? It's going to confuse the jury. They fought about this at one of the hearings. So I don't know why this was even sealed, but it's sealed. It was sealed. So there's that one. Okay, so here is another one that was unsealed. And some of these, you guys, I haven't read through all of them, so you're seeing them for the first time like I am. If you have any comments or anything about it, please put them in the comments. Okay, state supplemental rebuttal disclosure penalty phase expert Jason D. Gage. So this one here, the defendant Bryan Christopher Koberger and counsel Ann Taylor comes now to state in the above titled matter and submits the following supplemental rebuttal disclosure to the defendant's supplemental response to request for discovery regarding expert witness. Filed on January 23rd and consists with the court's May 6th order on the state's motion for examination and extension of deadline. It's anticipated the state may call Dr. Jason D. Gage to offer rebuttal testimony at the penalty phase of the trial. If the defendant opens the door to rebuttal testimony during the guilt phase, the state would offer Dr. Gage's testimony prior pursuant to Rule 702, 703, 705, blah, 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 blah. The state is attaching Dr. Gage's independent neuropsychological evaluation as Exhibit S1 and 2 curriculum vitae as Exhibit S2, both filed under seal. They did not attach it to this, okay? That is one of the things that is remaining sealed because they're saying it's medical evaluations for Bryan Koberger. So what does this mean? This means the state gave warning to Bryan Koberger and Ann Taylor. If you open the door to rebuttal testimony, right, we are going to call our own doctor that evaluated him. And from what I'm seeing, and I'm going by my own 30 years of working in criminal law, you guys, what this is saying, and don't try it. So in the way I'm processing this is Ann Taylor was going to have somebody come in, a doctor that they hired to evaluate their client, Bryan Koberger, and say, oh, he has this neuropsychological thing going on. I think this is the visual snow stuff, if you want my honest opinion. He's going to come in and say that Bryan possibly wasn't thinking properly because of this neuropsychological event that happened within his brain. This is what I'm thinking. And the state has their own doctor that did an evaluation that's going to knock that right out of the water. So don't even try it. If you open that door, be prepared because we're going to have this guy come in and rebuke everything you said. So that's what I think this is. I unhooked that one. So that was this one. The next one, objection to court's request for the defense. Okay, let's see. Oh, this is 7 pages, you guys. Hopefully this isn't very long. We're going to just, I haven't seen any of these. So I wish now, seeing that this one's 7 pages, that I would have maybe went through it and just highlighted some stuff that was important, but here we are. Okay, so now Bryan C. Kohberger by and through his attorneys of record and hereby submits his objection to providing a redacted copy of his ex parte supplement to his motion to continue to the state. Notwithstanding this objection, Mr. Kohberger attaches his proposed redacted ex parte motion and supporting declaration as directed by the court. Mr. Kohberger has a fundamental constitutional right to a complete and accurate record of all proceedings in this case, and he must be allowed the opportunity to make a complete record in order to afford adequate appellate review in the event of conviction. The ABA guidelines specifically instruct Capital Counsel to tailor any legal arguments to particular facts and circumstances in the client's case. Let's see if there's I'm going to scroll through this. I want to see if there's just an overview at the bottom. They're talking about the characteristics of death penalty law, post-conviction relief, blah, 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 blah. I'm going to scroll through this, so if you guys want to pause it later down the line and read through it all, you can. Mr. Kohberger has a right to a confidential defense mitigation investigation. Counsel has an obligation to maintain confidentiality with respect to information relating to the representation of a client absent informed consent or implied authorization. This ethical rule is broader than attorney-client privilege. It protects virtually everything the lawyer knows about the client's matter, regardless of the source. Defense counsel is therefore ethically bound not to provide the prosecution with anything that is not required by statute. Professional conduct. Finally, in support of his objection, Mr. Kohberger relies on his constitutional rights. The information contained in the ex parte filings fall under Mr. Kohberger's right to a confidential defense investigation, which in part and parcel of his right to effective assistance of counsel. So what I think happened here, this is the meeting that they had with the judge where they wanted to allow either a certain person to testify or a certain test or testing to be done on Bryan Kohberger, and that they wanted this confidential as a client lawyer, just between them. They didn't want this to have to go to the prosecution because whatever it was, without knowing what it is, you guys, it's hard for me to explain, but in other words, it's something that she wanted done, that she needed the court's permission to do, because Bryan Kohberger would have either had to have been removed from the jail or somebody come into the jail to be able to do this stuff that she wanted done for her own benefit, that she didn't want passed on to the prosecution. So she wanted it ex parte. She had an ex parte hearing with the judge, which means the prosecution wasn't there to hear her arguments that she was going to present to the judge to try and get this. But it's also, she's saying, is as required by the mitigation investigation requires extensive investigation into personal and family history. She didn't want any of this going over to the prosecution. So like I said, if you want to pause this later, you can pause it later on the replay. Counsel cannot discuss the specifics of the ongoing mitigation investigation in open court in front of the state and the public. So this is basically what she is saying. She doesn't want, she wants this to be able to happen. She needs this, I think she'll need court approval to get it done, but she doesn't want this going over to the prosecution. Special need for reliability, yes. So time and time again, the Supreme Court has condemned procedures in capital cases that might be completely acceptable in an ordinary case. This court must afford heightened constitutional protection in favor of the defendant when interpreting the requirements of the state and federal constitutions as applicable in this case. Things that may be perfectly acceptable and okay. So yeah, so that's basically what she is saying. And she doesn't want any of that information going over to the court. I wonder what that was. I think it was something to do with family history on maybe even mental illness or whatever. I don't know. Exhibit F. What's Exhibit F? Oh. Okay, so this was sealed. Exhibit F to defendant's sixth supplemental response to discovery under seal. The following items have previously been disclosed as exhibits by the defense and are now being disclosed in discovery in abundance of caution. Okay, so the following items have previously been disclosed as exhibits by the defense. So these are defense exhibits that they intended to use in court. Trunk contents, a photo of goggles, the weather, probably for the day that this happened. All these press releases from Moscow Police Department. These are all these. I'm just going to scroll through them because they're all, as you can see, Moscow Police Department press releases. I don't think they made that many press releases. Yeah, so these are all press releases or a press conference. All these, except for trunk contents, a photo of some goggles, and the weather. So those were going to be used by the defense. Goggles. Goggles. Photo of goggles. What's goggles got? What's love got to do? What's goggles got to do with this? I don't know, but they thought that this was important. And the trunk contents, I'm assuming, of Brian's car. That's only an assumption. Let's go on. More press releases, press release. The following items have previously been disclosed as exhibits by the defense. The defense intends to use these as demonstrative aids in the trial. Although typically not discoverable, the defense is disclosing these items in discovery as a courtesy in an abundance of caution. Okay. Connections to demonstrative exhibit. Connections demonstrative exhibit. So they had some kind of exhibit that was going to connect different things. A PowerPoint DNA transfer in the University of Idaho case. A PowerPoint understanding DNA transfer. Shuttler PowerPoint. Bright Burnham PowerPoint taking inked fingerprints. ACE methodology. Bright Burnham comparison to exclude. PowerPoint of Barbara Wolf, MD, and PowerPoint of Ray. Hang on a sec, you guys. Okay, sorry, that was Mama. She must have just got up. As far as Ray, his stuffs has already been in a court of law, stated that it's garbage science. So I don't know how far they would have got with that because the prosecution had a really good GPS and phone data person that was really good that would have put Ray in his place. This is also somebody that the judge called out and said, how dare you call this court, this judge, or people of the court stupid, basically. Anyway, he called Ray out and gave him a scolding. The following items have previously been disclosed as exhibits by the defense. Although these items are summaries of discovery previously disclosed by the state, the defense is disclosing these items in discovery as a courtesy and an abundance of caution. So these are things that the defense was going to use. The video overall of the house, the video of the third floor, another video of the third floor, another video floor going slow, video of the first floor, video of Dylan 2. So I guess there's 2 videos of Dylan. Dylan video 3, Dylan video 4, Xana exit. These are all videos. Video from the kitchen, video hallway look around model, video hallway look around no model, Video exit for Xana, Bethany, Dylan, Ethan, Kaylee, Madison, Xana timeline. So these are the handoffs. This is all with GPS and cellular data stuff. BK call and VTM. Geofence report. July 9th pool party. July 12th mountain hike. Cast final report analysts. AT&T breakdown data. Excel Wi-Fi status for Kohberger phone jury version, condensed version. Excel Wi-Fi status for Kohberger phone, the full Wi-Fi status, I guess, of the phone. Okay, the following items have previously been disclosed as exhibits by the defense. The defense intends to use these in the mitigation phase should the case proceed to a phase 2 in trial. Mitigation. Photo, Pleasant Valley District Office. What's that? A photo of Pleasant Valley District Office. Another photo of Pleasant Valley Security Office. A photo of the exterior of 119 Lambsden. That's his parents' house. This. Photo from DeSales. Photo from DeSales. Maternal genogram. Paternal genogram. I think this is like family history. Car accident reports. Pennsylvania education writing reports. BRYAN KOHBERGER report cards. Statement from Kohberger family from January 1st, 2023, just after like a day or two after he got arrested. And that's it. So that was their exhibits. Huh. They were going to go hard on these press releases. Huh. Interesting. Okay, that was that one. Defendant 6, okay. So this is just asking for BRYAN KOHBERGER, by and through his attorney of record, and hereby submits the defendant's 6th supplemental response to discovery to include additional documents as required by the... Okay, so that's what we just went over. Rose red, no. We went over all of this. You're going to have to scroll back a bit. How it works in Idaho is if they put, say the family puts $1,000 into BRYAN KOHBERGER's account, Idaho takes half. And that goes towards any fines or restitution. He gets to keep the other half. The whole amount does not go to pay off his fines or restitution. Only half does. We just went over all of that, and I pulled up the stuff on it. That's a good question, Jean. I wonder if the goggles were night vision. I wonder. Oh, can you imagine? Oh my gosh, you guys, can you imagine? Okay, let's continue. Notice of filing defendant's objections. Oh my gosh, 5 pages. Okay, so this is the notice of filing defendant's objections to the jury questionnaire under seal. Comes now Bryan C. Kohberger by and through his attorneys of record and hereby submits the court the defendant's objections to the jury questionnaire. Part 1, general background. Questions 3 and 8 are the same question. Question 1 combines defense requested questions 19 and 20. Defense objects to the topics being combined. So they want them asked. They're saying that question 21 combines their question 19 and 20, and they don't want them combined. They want to be asked separately. Question 23 queries about reading habits. The defense requests a new query about media habits be added in next sequence. The defense requests The question covered traditional mainstream media sources as well as social media sources, including following YouTube, TikTok, and Facebook groups. Employment history. Question 31, queries about employment. The defense requests part of the query include information about the prospective juror's role as a supervisor. Question 32, queries about education or training in a variety of areas. The defense requests vehicle identification be added to the list. What? Wow. Part 3, education, question 36. Defense requests the query include the prospective jurors' major and minor fields of study. Wow. General attitudes and knowledge of the law, question 38. The defense objects to this wording and requests the wording in defense suggested questionnaire number 36 be substituted. That language, presumption of innocence. One of the fundamental principles of our legal system is that when a person is charged with a crime, he must be presumed to be innocent. This presumption of innocence is only overcome if the prosecution presented enough evidence to convince you beyond a reasonable doubt that he is guilty. If you are selected as a juror in this case, will you have any difficulty accepting and or applying the rule of law that BRYAN KOHBERGER Willow, get it together, girl. That BRYAN KOHBERGER must be presumed to be innocent, yes or no? The defense has noted that the suggested query regarding burden of proof, the defense requests the following language be added into the final juror questionnaire. If the state so they want, instead of this is what normally would be in there, they want this. Like she's talking to these jurors like they're going to be idiots, right? The state prosecution has a burden of proving that BRYAN KOHBERGER is guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. This burden never shifts to the defense. True. The defendant never has to prove that he is innocent. True. Unless you say that you have an alibi. Ding, ding, ding. No defendant is ever required to testify. A defendant is not required to present any evidence unless you claim an alibi. You have to present that. If the prosecution does not prove every element of an offense beyond a reasonable doubt, the jury must find the defendant not guilty of that offense. Do you understand this legal principle? Will you follow this legal principle? Do you foresee any difficulty in applying this legal principle? Wow. She's nitpicking. So anyway, she just wanted certain things changed in the jury questionnaire. I'm just going to go through this, you guys. And if you want to go through it later and pause it, you can. Because to me, she's nitpicking. And I know a lot of this wasn't adapted anyway. So it wasn't going to make, a lot of this wasn't going to make it in. Like she wants to change whole parts of how jury instructions are given. Just like she wanted to change how a grand jury comes to their decisions. She wants to go back to 1800 laws. You know what I mean? So I am going to scroll through this in case you do want to go back later, pause it and go through it. But it's almost like she wants to go back. I can see it if there is something in there that directly doesn't jive with something else that's already been in a question. Like if it's going to, confuse the jury or something like that. I get it, because there are sometimes you have to make certain adjustments in the jury questionnaires. But come on. This is just the questionnaires, right? Okay, so that's that one. That was that one. Second notice of filing defendant's proposed jury instructions. This is just her again, is saying that comes now BRYAN KOHBERGER, that they filed it, what we just went over, that they filed that under seal. The next one, state's notice of amended exhibit list. You said and started talking really slowly. I've caught up. I'm glad you caught up, Shannon Scopper. Okay, let's see here. What's this? Notice of amended exhibit list and motion to seal. Comes now state of Idaho by and through the Latah County prosecuting attorney, and hereby provides notice that the state delivered an amended exhibit list to the defendant on May 13th, 2025. Copies of the list will be hand delivered to the defendant. The state has made the following amendments: added 4 photographs, S1 833 through S836. So they added 4, 833, 34, 35. Yeah, 4 photographs. Redacted S2 pursuant to the court's order on the state's motion in limine regarding text messages and 911 call. Redacted S2 11A pursuant to the court's order memorializing oral rulings in motion in limine. 4, removed exhibit S2 29, 5, and replaced it with S3 to 8 through S3 11 with official copies amended. So they're just saying that they have removed some. We're not going to know what they are. They're just giving numbers here. So I guess the defense had wanted certain things replaced with other things. They could be cumulative photographs showing basically the same thing, and their choice was not the first photograph of my phone, but they wanted the second photograph of my phone. And because they're cumulative and they're pictures of the same thing, let's remove S1 and we'll put in S2 for Willow's phone because it's showing the same, both pictures are showing the same thing, but we prefer S2 instead of S1. You know what I mean? So it's like that. That's what they're going over there. What's this? Is that what we just? Okay, States Exhibit S1 to motion to reclaim exhibits. ENS Business Record Affidavit, Grand Jury Exhibit 52. Sunset Mart in Pullman Business Record, Grand Jury Exhibit 53. Dylan Mortenson's phone record summary for 11/13 of 2022 at 2:29 a.m. to the next day at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. So the night of the red drums from 2 o'clock in the morning until 1 in the afternoon the next day. LCSO citation for BRYAN KOHBERGER on August 21st, 2022. We've seen that when he was pulled over. Washington Certified Department of Licensing title documents for BRYAN KOHBERGER. That's when he went after the red drums and changed his license plate. Washington Certified Driver's License report for BRYAN KOHBERGER. K-bar knife and sheath sample. 1122 King Road diagram 3D stacked floors, the ground floor, level 2, level 3, and map of the King Road area. And these were all in the grand jury hearing that they had. And those were the exhibit numbers in the grand jury. So they are giving that. Parties joint. Okay. Parties joint proposed jury instruction regarding tip leading to the investigation of the defendant. Okay, so this was a big fight that they had for a long time about the IGG. Okay, so, well, how do we describe to the jury how you got that tip that led you to BRYAN KOHBERGER? Anyway, it was a big fight. We all know they still fought about it right till the very end. So let's see here. Comes now the state of Idaho and defendant Bryan C. KOHBERGER to submit the proposed jury instruction as provided below. And this is regarding the tip leading to the investigation of BRYAN KOHBERGER. In its April 18, 2025 order memorializing oral rulings and motions in limine, the court advised the parties to meet and confer regarding a jury instruction to explain the tip that caused law enforcement to investigate the defendant. The parties have agreed on the proposed jury instruction below, which relates to the testimony of Moscow Police Department Corporal Brent Payne. The state intends to ask foundational questions of Corporal Payne to elicit the testimony addressed in the proposed instructions. Specifically, the state intends to ask whether the law enforcement received tips that it investigated between November 13th and December 19th, 2022, if any of those tips had been substantiated, and if law enforcement received a tip on December 19th that caused them to investigate the defendant. Defendant does not stipulate to parts 1 and 2. So whether the law enforcement received tips that it investigated between November 13th and December 19th. So the defendant's not going to stipulate to that one. And 2 of the intested testimony that reserves the right to cross-examine Corporal Payne about that testimony, but will not address, investigate the IGG. So they don't stipulate to if any of those tips have been substantiated or whether the law enforcement received tips it investigated between November 13th and December 19th. Proposed jury instruction. Parties joint proposed jury instruction number 1. You heard Corporal Payne testify that the investigation team received a tip on December 19th that caused them to investigate the defendant, Bryan C. Koberger. This testimony was admitted for limited purposes of explaining what caused law enforcement to investigate the defendant. You are not to consider this testimony for any purpose other than the limited purpose of when and why law enforcement first investigated the defendant. You are not to speculate as to the source or substance of the tip. So that was what they wanted to use. Conclusion, the parties respectfully asked the court to adopt their proposed jury instruction regarding the December 19th tip. So they agreed on it, finally, but then they still fought about it later. Oh my gosh. Okay, next one. This is the next one. Oh my God, this is 10 pages long. We're not going to be reading it all. I'm going to give you the overview. If you do want to read it all, you can go back and watch the replay and pause it to read. Rely in support of state's motion for an examination of defendant pursuant to Idaho Code 18207 and for an extension of time to complete rebuttal penalty phase expert disclosures. So, to the defendant, Bryan Christopher Koberger and counsel, please take notice that the undersigned submits this reply in support of the state's motion for an examination of the defendant pursuant to Idaho Code 18207 and for an extension of time to complete the rebuttal penalty phase expert disclosures in the motion. So this was filed May 1st. So I believe that this one here is they wanted to examine Bryan Koberger themselves because the defense was going to bring in, remember the neuropsychology thing that we talked about earlier? And I said the prosecution gave warning to counsel. If you bring that in and try and say he had this, I believe it was the snow, the visual snow. I think that was going to be something that they were going to use to argue somehow it did something to his brain and, he didn't understand what he was doing when he did this crime, something along them lines that he was going to try and say. They wanted to have a neuropsychologist do an examination of Bryan Koberger and come up with their own. Now, we know from the rulings after this that the judge was going to let that happen, and they did do it, and they had a rebuttal witness that was going to blow their theory out of the water. Okay, so that's what I believe this is, because this is the complete rebuttal penalty phase expert, and they wanted to examine the defendant. So if you do through its motion, I'll read the introduction and then I'll scroll through. I will read like the highlights like this, but then we will go to the bottom where it gives like an overall. Introduction. Through its motion, the state seeks the opportunity afforded to it by Idaho Code 18207 to rebut the defendant's mental condition expert witness testimony. So is this going to be, what was it, ADD, the visual snow, all that stuff, right? Defendant seeks to prevent this. So the defense did not want the prosecution being able to examine the defendant themselves or have a doctor examine him, their own doctor, which they're entitled to, right? He misconstrues the nature of the state's experts' proposed neuropsychology, there it is, examination. He seeks to insert his counsel in the middle of the examination process, and he claims the motion is untimely because the state should have raised this penalty phase rebuttal issue even before the defendant's own penalty phase disclosures were due. In essence, the defendant seeks to nullify Idaho Code 18207 in this case. The court should reject his arguments and grant the state's motion. So the defendant was trying to stop this from happening. The defense did not want the prosecution to be able to get this doctor for a rebuttal, right? To be able to rebut what the defense's expert was going to say regarding this neuropsychology bullshit that BRYAN KOHBERGER had going on, the visual snow, whatever. But what the state is saying is, yes, we should have, asked for this long ago, but we didn't know until the defense recently filed their expert witness list. And we seen that it was on there. We didn't know until now. So now we are entitled to get a rebuttal expert. We know because we've already read the other documents that happened after this that the judge allowed it, and they did have a rebuttal doctor that was going to blow Anne's report out of the water, right? Because Anne had a neuropsychology examination done of BRYAN KOHBERGER. So their doctor was going to blow it out of the water. Anyway, so this is just them. The state's expert proposed personality tester is proper. This is the state's argument. They're saying it's proper. So like I said, I'm going to scroll through this, and you guys can read through it at a later date if you want to by pausing the video. But I already know what it's about, so I'm not going to scroll. I'm not going to read it all. But here, see, there's stuff like this. The defendant claims that that personality testing would violate his Fifth Amendment rights. Then you can't open the door to it. If you're going to open the door to something like that and bring in an expert witness regarding his personality and stuff like that, and testing that you guys had done on him, on your client, then they have a right to call their own expert in to contradict what you're saying, right? Defendant's concern is also overstated. He isolates certain questions from the MMPI. I did this. I took 1 year, you guys, of behavioral science. I wanted to be a behavioral science technician before I got into the legal field. And I know what this MMPI is. And there's I think, well, back in the day, I'm going back into the 80s, there was 300 to 600 questions that they ask. And whoever they are evaluating, there's 300 to 600 questions in just one part of the MMPI testing. Anyway, and yeah, they will be incriminating responses because in the MMPI, you guys, there's several different sections of this, and they'll ask certain questions in the first part, like say in the first 50 questions, they will ask that same question throughout the different sections and testing 3 to 4 different ways. So they can find out if you're lying or making things up or whatever. It's in depth, you guys. Look it up. MMPI testing. You'll be surprised. You can't lie in it. They catch you, right? So anyway, so they did this MMPI. Defense counsel should not be present in the examination room because they don't want the defendant's counsel interfering, or making facial expressions or anything towards BRYAN KOHBERGER while he's being tested, right? So while the prosecution is having their own expert, examine BRYAN, they don't want Ann Taylor in the room. It's the same examination that's going to be done that they did on their client. So, but with a different doctor. The court should grant the state its requested extension. The state seeks an extension of time to make its rebuttal penalty phase expert so that its expert can conduct the examination and prepare his report. Sorry, you guys, my throat is also starting to get sore from reading all this. the coffee helps. The defendant objects on 2 grounds, both of which the court should overrule. Like I said, if you want to read this later, you can go back and pause it. Conclusion. For the foregoing reasons, the court should grant the state's motion in its entirety. We know the court did grant the state's motion because we've seen the documents that came out after this. And we also seen the prosecution in documents that came out after this, excuse me, with the state saying, and if you open that door, you know what our expert is going to do to what your expert just said. So if you want to open that door, you go right ahead. But we got our own expert, and we know the judge granted this. So there you go. I think he was just a sicko, Shannon. I feel like with all the reading and the interest in, Dahmer and everything that they were talking about, I think he just was angry at women. And I think that he thought that this was going to be an easy target for him to see what it felt like what Jeffrey Dahmer did. Because didn't Jeffrey Dahmer, is Git still in here? Didn't Jeffrey Dahmer go after college or university students? Let me see if Git's in here. While we're waiting for Git to answer that, I think Jeffrey Dahmer was his idol. You know how we all have some kind of idol. I think Jeffrey Dahmer was his idol. And because he was so interested in this criminology stuff and everything else, and then everything that he learned at the sales and about criminology and the psyche and, Dahmer and all this stuff, he wanted to know how. I could see him sitting there going, wow, like, why did he do that? What brought that on? Like what in life happened to him? And so he started investigating that stuff, right? We seen that with the questionnaire that he had put on Reddit. How did you feel? This and that. Wow, could I do that and get that adrenaline rush and feel powerful like Jeffrey? You know what I mean? Okay, so I'm going to get 2 minutes, you guys. We'll go on a 2-minute break just for me to go and grab something else to drink so I can stop coughing. Okay, so maybe I'm thinking of somebody else. There was somebody else that he studied that red drummed college girls too. Okay, hang on. Okay, yes. Yes. It is Jeffrey Dahmer, you guys. It's right here. I asked, did Jeffrey Dahmer attack college students? Yes, Jeffrey Dahmer attacked and killed individuals who were college students or who were met near university campuses, as well as victims came from various backgrounds. Some of them were enrolled in associated or colleges at the time of their red drums, right? Yeah, and I think there was 2 females. Let's ask about female. No. Okay, you guys are right. No, Jeffrey Dahmer's victims were exclusively boys and men. Okay, so there is another one. there was another one that he was following that attacked college girls. I don't know which one. Okay, give me 2 minutes, you guys. I'm going to heat up my coffee and add a little bit more cream to it just so it's a little creamier to coat my throat. Give me 2 minutes and we will be right back. Which also means, let me just put it here, you guys. Okay, I'm going to put this on the screen. 2-minute break. Run to potty or grab a drink, y'all. Okay? Because that's what I'm going to do. Maybe I should run to potty at the same time. Let's go on a 2-minute break. Go run to the potty. Go grab yourself a drink. Go let the dog out. Let the dog in. Whatever you got to do. Feed the fish. Feed the birds. Whatever you got to do. I'll be back in about 2 minutes. Okay. I'm back. Okay. Oh, maybe it was, yeah, maybe it was Ted Bundy. I know one of the ones that he was really interested in or reading up on um, went after college girls too. Jane says, I think BK likes BTK too as well. I don't know. I know there was a bunch of them. Remember the photos of those books? I've got them all on my stick, you guys. I've got to get them back onto this computer because I had to do a full computer reset. But anyway, okay, let's go over the next one. Okay. 17 pages. No, we're not going through all of them. I will scroll through it. Maybe you mean Danny Rolling in Florida. Um, it was one of the ones get that he read up on. Because I remember when we went over the photos and I looked up the title of the book, that it said that that person had red drummed men and women, but he also went after these two college girls or whatever. So yeah, I'm not sure exactly which one it was. Like I said, the photos are on my external drive, which I got to put hook up to this computer, so I'll be able to go back and look at stuff like that. But I'm thankful I got Git here because Git knows, my go-to here. Git knows. So thank you for that. It could very well be Ted Bundy or maybe even Danny Rolling, whoever else it was that he was reading about, right? Okay, so this one. Objection to state's motion for examination of the defendant. Okay, so here she goes. She's going to argue her case. We already know the judge didn't, give her this, didn't grant this. The judge allowed the state to do their own examination of them. So, but this is her fighting it again. So I will scroll through this. We know that this was not granted. I think it was granted in one part of this, but all the rest no, because obviously the prosecution did get a chance to examine him. The state requested extension must be denied because it is highly prejudicial to Mr. Kohberger, and it's not supported by good cause. Well, yes, it is. The state has had comprehensive psychological reports, but this was different. This was a neuropsychology doctor, totally different than just a regular psychologist. So Get is saying Gainesville Red Drums, 5 college students, 1994. Wow. Thank you. Thank you, Get, for that. So this isn't going to fly because it's not just a normal psychologist that they wanted to get. It was a neuropsychologist. So forget it. Like I said, if you guys want to scroll through this and read it, you can rewatch this and pause and read all of this. I will give you the highlights of what she's fighting. Okay, so here's the next one. The personality testing proposed by the state's expert falls outside of the scope of proper rebuttal evidence and violates Mr. Kohberger's Fifth Amendment. No, it doesn't. If you're going to bring it in, they have a right to rebut it. Open the door, and that's what the prosecution kept saying. You're opening the door. So don't bring it in. If you're not bringing it in on your side, we won't need a rebuttal witness. If you're going to bring it in, we have a right for a rebuttal witness. I mean, it's Law 101. Come on. See? The proposed personality testing by Dr. Gage is not proper rebuttal evidence because it is not reasonably tailored to refute the evaluations conducted by the defense experts. How do you know if they haven't done it yet? You know what I mean? The defense proffered evidence concerns Mr. Kohberger's diagnosis of autism spectrum disorder, ASD, obsessive compulsive, I got OCD. I haven't red drummed anybody, and attention ADHD. Well, I think that they can bring in rebuttal experts because the OCD I can see, but OCD doesn't cause a person to go out and red drum. And you can see some of his OCD with the constant hand washing to the point where his hands are red. A very well-known comedian, Howie Mandel, has OCD. He's terrified of germs. He's germophobic. That's OCD. He's never gone out and red drummed anybody. You know what I mean? So, this is what they want to have a rebuttal expert. ADHD. Does that somehow, are they, it's depending on what the defense expert is going to say. If he's going to say, well, the ADHD could have caused him to do this, to go out and red drum for people, they need a rebuttal expert saying how that is not plausible. You know what I mean? Like, I know that I've seen kids that are ADHD and I've seen that they can act out and stuff, but they don't go to the extent of planning. This is premeditated. He had to plan this out. So the diagnosis of autism spectrum. Okay, well, if he has autism, how did he function in class and get the grades that he got and be capable of premeditating and setting up down? If he hadn't have left that on the sheath, they may never have, or it may have taken them years to get him because he probably would have offended again, but it would have taken years probably for them to get him. So the amount of planning and everything that went into that, for them to claim these disorders, I don't know. I think the prosecution has every right to have their own evaluation of them to see if any of this is even true. Like, why wasn't this brought up at the beginning? Why only now? Throwing things at the wall to see what would stick. Okay. The state's proposed testing also violates Mr. Kohlberger's Fifth Amendment right against self-incrimination. Well, if you bring it in, they have a right to rebut. There are certain mental disorders that this could be very much an outcome of something somebody would do with certain mental disorders. So I can't agree with you there, Shannon's Copper. There are certain mental disorders that elevate the risk of somebody doing something like this. But Bryan Kohlberger didn't have any of those. So anyway, like I said, I'm scrolling through this. See, there's the MMPI-2, the PAI, right? There's a bunch of them. There's like 4 or 5 different sections to the MMPI. And like I said, each section has 300 to 600 questions, depending on which sections they're using. And it's the Minnesota Multiphasic Personality Inventory 2 and the Personal Assessment Inventory, which is the PAI. And there's 2 others. There's the MMPI, there's the MMPI-2, there's the PAI, and there's one other one. See, right here. By way of example, the MMPI consists of hundreds of true or false questions. And you can't, because they will ask the same question 5 different ways. And they'll know if you're trying to fake your answers. See, the MMPI consists of 567 questions. I told you, between 300 and 600. The MMP2 is 338 questions. And there's the MMPI-3 consists of 335. And then there's the PAI. So I told you there was 4. I know because I started in behavioral science and I just couldn't. What's this? By way of example, the MMPI consists of hundreds of true or false questions. The subject is not asked to perform a timed task to assess the subject's cognitive skills and defects. Rather, the test is uniquely testimonial. It is. The test subject provides true or false responses to written questions, similar to the following. Sometimes I get so angry and upset I don't know what comes over me. True or false? And the subject would have to answer true or false. Sometimes when I was young, I stole things. True or false? These are all true or false. At times I have a strong urge to do something harmful or shocking. Like, some of these questions are connected. You know what I mean? I've had peculiar and disturbing experience that most other people have not had. I'd like to do the work of a choir director. You know what I mean? So these are just these aren't questions that are on there, I don't think, but anyway. So you can read through this if you want, but look up the MMPI and the PAI. Look them up. I'm telling you, you'll be shocked. So you can read, and they know that they can catch him in a lie, right? If they allow the state to do this testing with their own doctor, they know that they can catch Bryan in certain lies during this testing that would rebuke what the other doctor said. And it's all by his own answers. Okay, the Sixth Amendment requires that counsel be permitted to attend the prosecution's evaluation of Mr. Kohlberger. And this is their fight on that. And the Idaho Court of Appeals held that the Sixth Amendment right to counsel's advice regarding a psychosexual examination does not include the right for counsel to be physically present during the examination. Okay, here the psychological evaluation sought by the state is not a neutral examination by a court-appointed expert. Explicitly stated that statute of theories and procedure and universal process. The examination will expose Mr. Kohlberger to lengthy, intensive questioning by an expert who is an agent of the prosecution and thus unidentifiably his expert advisor. The counsel is present is therefore required at the evaluation. I don't think they got it. So like I said, I'm just scrolling through this. The conclusion. Counsel respectfully requests that this court deny the motion for extension of time because the state has provided no good cause to extend the deadline for rebuttal of the defense's mitigation. Allowing untimely discovery of this nature would substantially prejudice Mr. Kohlberger's right to a fair trial and sentencing determination pursuant to the 6th, 8th, and 14th Amendments and his concomitant state constitutional rights. If this court does permit an extension of time over Mr. Kohlberger's objection, he respectfully requests that this court enter an order prohibiting any personality testing which is both outside the scope of rebuttal and uniquely testimonial in nature. Well, if you had somebody do the MMPI testing, which consists of 4 different sections, if you had it done, then the prosecution can have the same thing done. Permitting defense counsels present at the evaluation and requiring the state to disclose the list of the exact tests its expert intends to administer, and permitting the defense counsel to object in writing to any improper testing after consultation with defense mental health experts. Crazy. It was denied. It was denied, you guys. Where were we? We're back already at April. Okay, let's do this one. This is still the same thing, you guys. This is 14 pages. I'm not going to do it. This is just, they're fighting over the same thing, right? The examination of the defendant, they just added more crap to it. So we're not going to go over that. This is just, this is the state asking for what we just went over that the defense was disagreeing to. This is 11 pages, and this is a declaration of Jason D. Gage, PhD, and he is a doctor in clinical psychology. And he's just giving his overall. I will scroll through this if you want me to, so you guys can go back and read it later. He's going to give his overview, and this was filed under seal, of what he intends on doing for these. This is in support of the state's motion for an examination of the defendant, and for the motion for an extension of time to complete the rebuttal. And he's going to go over his education, curriculum vitae. I've been engaged by the Latah County Prosecuting Attorney's Office to evaluate the reports of the defendant's expert witnesses that relate to my professional field and to conduct a neuropsychological examination of the defendant. In my professional opinion, including broader testing of personality and psychopathology, is important for several reasons. First, these tests contain the most sensitive symptom fidelity measures to help determine if the examinee is reporting information in a consistent and reliable manner without significant over-reporting, exaggeration, or under-reporting defensiveness. He says, in her evaluation of defendant, it does not appear that Dr. Rachel Orr administered any test that formally evaluates symptom validity to this level. So he's saying that she didn't do a proper examination. And I feel, and I've said this before we got to this document, like I said, I'm seeing these for the very first time too. They just picked and chose what they wanted to use from their doctor's reports, right? And this doctor is saying, whoa, 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 back up. She didn't do reliable testing on certain things that she's going to comment on. You know what I mean? I feel like they just pick and chose what they wanted out of her reports. And that's why they don't want the prosecution to be able to do their own testing, because it could prove that, right? And it says right here, in her evaluation of the defendant, it does not appear that Dr. Rachel Orr administered any test that formally evaluates symptom validity to this level. Those measures help ensure that the results of other self-report measures that do not contain validity scaled are valid. Second, not only is it important to rule in diagnosis, such as those that have already been diagnosed, but also to rule out diagnosis that could account for the same symptom presentation. So he's saying she didn't do a proper examination of them. So let me make it a little bit bigger here, and then you guys can scroll through this and read it. He gives his opinions and why he needs to do this testing, because he doesn't feel like the doctor that the defense hired did a proper, thorough testing. I think they just took bits and pieces and then gave him some kind of diagnosis, which you can't do. Okay. What's this? This is another declaration. Oh, that's the one that we just did. Okay. Okay. State's witness list. I believe that we already went over these witness lists. Yes, we did. We already went over in my previous live, you guys. We went over these witness lists. Bethany Funk's on there. Like the friends and everything. There's Emily. Yeah, we went over this already. If you guys don't remember, Emily and her boyfriend are the ones that went in. It's her boyfriend that went in and found the scene and said, get out, get out, get out, call 911, get out. So we did go over this witness list already in my last live. We went over, we did not go over this. Oh my God, you guys, this is 28 pages. This is the state's witness list. Do you guys want to continue? Like I said, this one I do want to go through. Do you guys want to go over this, or do you want me to do this in a different live? I'm going to let you guys decide. Do we continue? Do we go on, you guys? Because this one's 28 pages and I want to go through this. I'll give it a minute. Let me know in the chat if you guys want me to go through this state's exhibit list. This is going to be their full exhibit list that they were going to use in trial. If you want me to go over it, say it in chat. Otherwise, we will probably end here and do it in another live. Let me know in the chat. Jean, yes, that is still going on. Go on. Well, we've got one person. Come on, you guys. We've got 19 people in here now. Let me know. Do you guys want me to go through this? Let me know in the chat. It's 28 pages. I'm going to wait and see if I get a couple more people saying yes before I go forward. Otherwise, we will stop here and this will be for another day. Doesn't matter to me either way yet. I have no problem doing it. So if you want to see it now, we can do it. Keep going. Okay, dokie, you guys. Okay. King Road, front exterior of residence, rear exterior of residence, main floor towards west bedroom. Main floor west bedroom, Xana Kernoodle and Ethan Chapin. So they're going to have photos of them in that bedroom. The third floor east bedroom, which was Maddie's bedroom, and they're going to have photos of Kaylee and Madison in there. Third floor east bedroom, Kaylee and Madison close up. Now, do you see this? These S1, S1, S11, S12, S13. Some of these were released, but other ones like this are not going to be released. Okay. And these were marked. So thank the good Lord that they are not, let me just make sure this is still working over here. They are not going to show any of the photos, excuse me, of the victims. Thank God. Okay. The main floor kitchen sliding door open. Third floor west bedroom, Murphy on the bed. Third floor west bedroom, the kennel, which would be Murphy's kennel. Third floor west bedroom, front and west side. Okay, let me grab a Halls. That's going to help. Scrounging through my little box of tricks here, you guys. I got all my Halls and stuff like that. Let me just grab a Halls. That's going to help tremendously. There we go. Whoops. Sorry for the noise. I'm digging through my stuff here to find my Halls. Okay, where the hell did they go? They're in this one. I got 2 buckets here, you guys, of stuffs. Where the hell did they go? There they are. All right. Dumping everything all over the place, you guys. Losing my mind. Okay, let me get one of these in my mouth. That should help. Your throat gets dry talking so much. What's the matter, you? Hey. Shut up in your face. Okay. I got Halls now. Woohoo! Yeah. Gene, I agree. So now you're going to hear the Halls in my mouth, but there's nothing I can do. Yeah, I don't need to see all that either. Okay. So when they went in, Murphy was on the bed. And then we seen other photos where Murphy was hiding under her desk behind a chair. The kennel, Kaylee's room, front and west side of the house, the west yard. So the west side is where Kaylee and Xana's bedroom was. The east side is where Bethany, Dylan, and Maddie were. Just so you guys are, I know I'm directional craziness. Like I'm the only one that will get lost even with GPS. Okay. So West side, Kaylee, Xana's bedrooms. Right side is Maddie's, Dylan's, and Bethany's. North side, front door. So that's the front of the house is north. Okay. You know what, you guys? I am. That's bad, eh? I'm going to forget. Okay, so I'm going to draw the house. This is the west. This is the east. This is the south. This is the north. Front door. Because I know down the road, I'm going to get confused. So this is Kaylee's bedroom and Xana. On the west side, Maddie, Dylan, and Bethany are on the east side. And the south is the backyard. Okay, I got it in front of me. Okay, front and west side, west yard, north side of front door, entryway. Huh. Okay. Front door towards bathroom and stairs. First floor with stairs. So that's the main level where Bethany's room would have been. Bethany was on the first floor. Might as well do that too. Third floor, second floor, third floor, second floor, first floor. All right, because Bethany was on the first floor, Dylan was on the second floor, Maddie on the third floor. On the other side of the house, there was an empty bedroom on the first floor. Second floor was Xana. Third floor was Kaylee. First floor was stairs. First floor bedroom, west side. That's the empty bedroom. First floor bedroom, west side. So these three here are the empty bedroom. First floor bathroom. This would be Bethany's bathroom and guests, I guess. First floor bedroom, east side. Oh, look at that. Some bitches. They put the name. Bethany's bedroom. Locked door on the first floor. We know that that was the room where the furnace was. First floor bedroom, east side, east side, east side. So there's like 1, 2, 3, 4 pictures of Bethany's bedroom. Second floor living room. Second floor facing west towards Xana's bedroom. Second floor living room towards the stairs. Kitchen. That is the one that, what's his name? Where's Get? Emily and her boyfriend. What was her boyfriend's name? He was a friend of Ethan's. Bethany's boyfriend. Because after he had found Ethan and Xana, he went in the kitchen and grabbed a knife because he didn't know if somebody was still in the house. And then he later placed it on the beer pong table. What was his name? Hunter. Thank you, Get. Hunter. See, I told you. Get knows everything. Get is my go-to. Thank you, Get. So when Emily and Hunter showed up, don't forget, the girls, the surviving roommates called Emily and Hunter, come over, there's something wrong. Hunter was the first one in. The girls were still in the process, I guess, of coming in the front door. He found Ethan and Xana, and he went in the kitchen, grabbed a knife because he didn't know if somebody was still there, and he said, "Get out, get out, get out, call the police," right? Yes, that was gone over, Jean. Again, thank you, Get. That was gone over. There is a list of what they had gotten out of his trunk. We already went over that. King Road, second floor facing west, Xana's bedroom. Second floor bathroom, which would have been like whoever was in the living room or Xana or Dylan's bedrooms or the kitchen. This is probably the bathroom that a lot of people use, the first and second floor bathrooms. I believe the third floor bathrooms, nobody had any reason to go up there except for Kaylee and Maddie. There was no living room or kitchen or anything like that. It was just their 2 bedrooms and a bathroom. So I believe the first and second floor bathrooms are going to be the ones that any guests or partiers would have used. Second floor west bedroom, Xana. Pictures of Xana again. Her closet, Xana's closet. Xana again in her bedroom. Ethan in the bedroom. The foot of the bed in Xana's room. Her bedroom table in Xana's room. The living room, the ping pong table, and the stairs going to the third floor. There's pictures of that. Second floor bedroom is of Dylan Mortensen. They took several pictures of hers. They took pictures of the kitchen. The utility closet on the second floor, which is between the living room and the kitchen, right beside the stairs going up to the third floor. More pictures in the kitchen. The window with the handprints on them. The kitchen window screen that was punched out, right? Or taken out, whatever. The stairwell to the third floor, there's multiple pictures of that. Third floor landing, that's the landing that you can see from the, like, right outside Dylan Mortensen's door. You go up about, what, 7 stairs. There's a landing. The stairs turn and then come up again. So that would be that landing. Third floor landing east. So I don't know which one that would be. The third floor west bedroom, which is Kaylee's. They got several pictures there of Kaylee's bedroom. Third floor landing facing east. Third floor bathroom, that would have been used only by Kaylee and Maddie, or anybody else that they would have had come in their bedrooms, right? Like girlfriends, whatever. Or boyfriends, who knows? Third floor southeast bedroom door of Maddie. And we know that there was red stuff on the outside of her door near the handle and further up and further down. Third floor southeast bedroom, Madison Mogan's bedroom. Pictures of Maddie and Kaylee in the bed. Jeez. The southeast bedroom above the bed, the closet, the floor, a desk, all in Maddie's room. Vehicles parked at King Road, black Ford truck. So I don't know whose that was parked behind Ethan. A silver Ford. Silver Ford SUV. I don't know. I don't remember a silver. Oh, that was Kaylee's Land Rover, Range Rover. I don't know who that black SUV was parked behind Ethan's red Jeep. Xana's was the blue car. Maddie's was the white Chevrolet. Xana's was a Honda, the blue Honda. Okay, main floor, east bedroom. That would be Bethany's room. Poster boards overview, bottom of poster board 1, middle of poster board, top of poster board, bottom of poster board, middle of poster board, top of poster board. I don't know what that all is. Probably something, I don't know. I don't want to. King Road, Lakeland, McComas, and Bethany Funk. So these are all exhibits. Lakeland, McComas, Bethany Funk, and Dylan Mortensen. Lakeland, McComas, and Bethany. Oh my God. Lakeland, McComas, and Dylan Mortensen. Dylan Mortensen on couch with no text. Text message with Kaylee starting at 8:40 p.m. Text messages with Kaylee at 1:45 a.m. Toyota Prius. Okay, it was a Toyota that Xana owned. Front driver's side, passenger side, front passenger side, and the rear. Pictures of Madison Mogan in a sealed body bag. Jesus. I'm glad these ones aren't shown. Madison Mogan body bag tag, Kaylee Goncalves sealed body bag and body bag tag, Ethan, the same thing for Ethan, and the tag, and Xana. They probably took pictures, you know, of Maddie, Kaylee, Ethan, Xana. Pictures of Maddie, top front, top back. So her front side, her back side. Madison's pants, the front and the back. Kaylee wearing sock. Kaylee sock. Kaylee sock. Kaylee pants. So this is going to be each sock, front and back of pants, front and back of, it looked like she had, this could be multiple layers of clothes she had on, maybe like a sweatshirt with a shirt underneath and the different top, bottom, front, back, top, bottom, front, back. You know what I mean? But Kaylee's, whatever she had on the top part of her. Xana's underwear, the front and back. Xana's shirt. So she was just in a shirt and underwear, you guys. The front and back. Ethan Chapin, right sock, left sock, front and back. The drone. So drone footage of the west side with the parking lot, the residence area with upper parking lot. That's going to be behind the residence. Resident area with 500 Queen Road Apartments, area with Willenta Drive, King Road, Taylor Avenue, and Willenta Drive. This is all drone footage of all these areas. West side porch and deck, exterior backyard, view of 112 King Road from upper lot. That's going to be from behind the house. Yes, thank the good Lord, because these would have all been shown in court, you guys. The body bags, everything. Exterior backyard view of King Road from upper lot. Exterior south side, north entrance, which is the front door. First floor, foyer, stairs, and bathroom. So this is all on the floor that Dylan was on. Not Dylan, sorry, Bethany. More photos of the stairs that would be leading up to the second floor. Door to west bedroom. First floor doorknob and lock, external front door. So that's all the front door. West bedroom, that's the empty bedroom, empty bedroom south wall, empty bedroom northeast corner, empty bedroom looking east. The first floor bathroom, the west wall of the first floor bathroom, and the toilet. Hallway looking east from the bathroom door. East bedroom bed, that would be Bethany's bed. East bedroom, west wall closet, Bethany's closet. Stairs from the first floor to the second floor. So that would be as soon as you come in the front door, the stairs would be to your left. A bathroom would be directly in front of you. The empty bedroom would be to your right. The left, going left down a little short hall, would be into Bethany's bedroom. So they're showing the stairs from right inside that front door to your left. Second floor, east wall. That's probably going up the stairs. Second floor, living room wall, south wall. That's like the wall that would separate the living room from Bethany's bedroom. Second floor living room looking west. That is looking towards Xana's bedroom. So that would be the wall on your right if you're going towards the kitchen. Living room looking to the west bedroom, which is Dylan's bedroom. Second floor bathroom. That would be Dylan and Xana's bathroom, as well as probably anybody that's on in the living room, whatever. Bathroom, southwest corner. The shower of the second floor bathroom. Bathroom south wall. Bathroom west wall. Bathroom northwest corner and hallway. West bedroom from outside the doorway. That's Bethany's bedroom. The west bedroom is Bethany's. Sorry. The west bedroom on the second floor is Xana's bedroom. Sorry. I had to look at my photos here. So second floor, west bedroom from outside the doorway, which would be, they'd be probably standing right in front of the bathroom door. Because if you're going in Xana's bedroom, you got the stairs on the right going down to the first floor, or you got the bathroom on the left, right outside her bedroom door. So that's where they're standing, taking a picture of Xana's bedroom door. Second floor, west bedroom looking northwest. So, which is looking towards the front of the house where her window would have been. Second floor, west looking northwest with ceiling. So looking towards the front of the house and getting the ceiling, the closets in that corner too. West bedroom looking north, which would be that back wall where the red stuff was dripping out. Second floor, west bedroom looking southwest, which is the corner of the house where the red stuff was, that corner, right where her bed was, up in that corner. That's the southwest corner. So if you walked in her bedroom, it would be to the left in the furthermost corner. Second floor, west bedroom overview. That's Xana's bedroom. Xana Kernodle, close up of right leg. Oh my gosh. Second floor, west bedroom, end of bed. Second floor, west bedroom, south wall. Second floor, west bedroom, foot of bed. Second floor, west bedroom, Ethan Chapin on bed, covers over legs. Second floor, west bedroom, Ethan Chapin on bed, covers removed. Second floor, west bedroom, Ethan Chapin on bed, covers removed, close up of the injury. Ethan Chapin on the bed. Second floor, west bedroom, edge of bed to the floor. Second floor bedroom, west bedroom, Ethan Chapin on the bed. Oh my God. I'm so glad these weren't shown. Second floor, Ethan Chapin leg injury. Ethan Chapin on body bag. I know. Ethan Chapin on right side of body bag. Second floor, west bedroom, north wall. Second floor, bedroom closet. This is all still in Xana's room. Her bedroom closet, there's a few pictures of that. Her desk. West bedroom, Xana Kernodle ID on desk. West bedroom, door and plate on floor. West bedroom, close-up of plate on floor. West bedroom looking east down the hallway. So that's looking back towards the living room. Living room from the west, which is from the area of Xana's bedroom. Living room, knife on beer pong table. Second floor, south wall, living room, doorway to hall. Second floor, staircase to third floor. Second floor, east bedroom, through doorway to hall. That second floor, east bedroom is Dylan's bedroom. Second floor, east bedroom, southeast corner. That's Dylan's bedroom. More of Dylan's bedroom. This is more of Dylan's wall and closet. This is between Dylan's bed and the south wall. East bedroom ID on table. This is the hallway from the doorway of the east bedroom. That hallway, it's like right at the bottom of the stairs leading to the third floor. If you come out of Dylan's room and you go straight into the kitchen. On the left, as soon as you come out of Dylan's door, would be the stairs to go to the third floor. Beside that is the broom closet, and then the kitchen is behind that. If you would look to the right, you step up a step, and you are in the living room area. Okay, second floor hallway showing stairs, storage room, and kitchen. Second floor looking west into kitchen southwest corner. So that southwest corner would be where the stove is, and the sliding door. Second floor hallway showing stairs, storage room, and kitchen. Okay, looking west into kitchen. That would be that back wall there. Like, The sliding doors are here, and it's kind of like on an angle like this. So that would be like the west wall would be where the stove and the counter and part of you can see part of the sink. Kitchen southwest corner would be like here's I don't know if you guys can see my arrow. Right here's the sliding glass doors. So beside the sliding glass doors, there's that little thing here, and then the stove is right here, and then it goes down here with the window. Anyway, it's right in that corner by the sliding glass doors, between the sliding glass doors and the stove. Um, that's the southwest corner. Southeast corner would be on the opposite side where that little table was with some stools under the window with the handprints on it. Kitchen northeast corner and hall. That would be where that big cabinet was with the doors on it that they could store food in. Second floor kitchen table and south window. That's that window. Whoops. That's that where the kitchen table was with the bar stools, and you could see the handprints on the windows there. There it is right there. Kitchen handprints on south window. That's where that was. Second floor staircase leading to the third floor. That's the first jaunt. You go up 7 stairs, you got a landing. Landing between second and third floor, landing and steps to third floor, top of second to third floor stairway, doorway to third floor west bedroom, which is Kaylee's bedroom. We're right here. Third floor west bedroom through doorway. So that's when they took that picture of Kaylee's bedroom. Kaylee's bedroom, the southwest corner would be the southwest corner would be over by where her balcony was, like that corner there by her sliding door. The west bedroom wall, we're in Kaylee's bedroom right now. The west bedroom wall would be the wall of her bedroom, like that would be above the kitchen where the stove is, that wall there that looks to the west. The west bedroom northeast corner would be the area where her bed was. Behind the door, there was her bed and a kennel. A third floor hallway looking east towards Maddie's bedroom. Third floor bathroom from Kaylee's doorway. The third floor bathroom, you can see the toilet and the shower there. They took pictures in the bathroom. Third floor hallway looking southwest. Southwest would be like down towards the stairs area, towards Kaylee's bedroom, but more or less the stairs coming up, right? Third floor east bedroom doorway. This is Maddie's bedroom. Third floor east bedroom foot of bed. That's Maddie's bed. So we're in Maddie's room now. East bedroom looking southeast, which is where her closet was. And her window would be right beside the closet. East bedroom, south wall and closet. There we go, looking southeast. East bedroom, northwest corner. So that would be where, her vanity, and that would be in her door. Like that wall that when you open her door, that wall would be behind her door. East bedroom, victims in the bed. Oh, gosh. Okay, so we're still in Maddie's room here, you guys. Madison, Logan, and Kaylee in the bed. East bedroom floor, east bedroom door and floor, east bedroom door and wall, east bedroom looking west. That it will be the wall behind the door if you open her door. East bedroom looking west, close up of red spatter. So there was, oh my gosh, there was red stuff even on the wall behind her door. See, when you're looking at Maddie's bedroom, you're looking at her door, you open her door swings to the right directly in front of you. You could see her window, her bedroom window. You could see out into the parking lot where BRYAN KOHBERGER would have parked. You could see part of the backyard and the balcony that she shared with Kaylee. That wall that we're talking about is that wall to your right. So when you open the door, that door would cover that. Her bedroom was her bed was to the left, up against the north wall and east wall. It took that corner there. So the red stuff went all the way across to the other wall that would have been behind her door. This is, oh my God, you guys. Yeah, we're going to get to that. Yeah, that ladder was nothing. I think, I don't know if it could have been, it came off of maybe Hunter's shoe when he went into the kitchen, because remember, he didn't go all the way in the bedroom. So was he wearing Vans? And being that he went in and he seen what happened, could he have gotten a little bit on the bottom of his shoe? I don't know. I don't know. We'll see if they ever do bring that up, because we're going to have still hundreds of documents to go through as these are released. Yep. And you know what, you guys? My very first reading when he was arrested, I laid out, before the probable cause affidavit even come out, in that read, it came out that he parked behind the house. He came through that sliding glass door and that he went upstairs first. That all came out before any information came out, before the probable cause and everything. Before he was even arrested, I think. My reading, it came out that he parked up there, that he came through the sliding doors. He went upstairs first. As he was coming down, I got in the cards that he had seen somebody, and I thought it was Xana, which obviously now we know it was. So that read was smack on. Everything in it was true. Seen Xana probably coming towards the kitchen. She turned around to run to get away from him, and he chased her and got her. That came out in that read. Go see it, you guys. It's before he was even arrested. So I would not, there's no way I could have known any of that. It came out in the read, though. And the very first read, just after this happened, I described BRYAN KOHBERGER to a T in one of my reads. I think the one read is saying arrest coming. You might want to go and check that out. So yeah, it was crazy. Okay. East bedroom floor. Okay. So we were down here. We're still in Maddie's bedroom. East looking west, close up. So Maddie's bedroom looking west. West is towards Kaylee's room. So that wall. So you're looking at Kaylee's room, Maddie's room. You open the door. The west wall is that wall that's behind when you open the door. It's behind the door. East bedroom, third floor east bedroom door, and the red transfer. We seen the photos of that. Overview of kitchen. Jack in the Box bag, table, south wall. Close up of Jack in the Box bag on the table, Jack in the Box on kitchen counter, Jack in the Box with contents, Jack in the Box with contents on counter, the kitchen microwave, kitchen, Jack in the Box fries on microwave, King Road power cord, floor 1 west bedroom. Okay, floor 1 west bedroom. That's the empty bedroom. Northwest wall, marker 1. Power cord, floor 3 west bedroom, upper shelf closet. So this is Kaylee's bedroom. Upper shelf closet, floor 1 west bedroom. That's the empty bedroom. Cell phone, black, floor 3 west bedroom, and GoPro card location. Okay, so this is a cell phone, black, in Kaylee's bedroom on the closet floor, and a GoPro card location. The black cell phone, floor 3 west bedroom, closet floor, GoPro SD card. This is all in Kaylee's bedroom. A note from floor 2 east bedroom. So floor 2 east bedroom is Dylan's room. A note. A diary from Dylan's bedroom. The blue Honda, that is Xana's car. Blue Honda glove box, Xana's glove box. iPhone in Xana's car in the glove box. Vava, portable speaker, floor 2, west bedroom, north wall. So in Xana's bedroom, there was a Vava portable speaker. There was a blue UE portable speaker in the kitchen on a stool. I think we've seen that in the pictures. Black JBL portable speaker, floor 3, west bedroom. That's Kaylee's bedroom. West wall wheeled rack. So that's Kaylee's bedroom. A fire stick from floor 3, west bedroom. That's a fire stick from Kaylee's bedroom. Kindle from floor 3, west bedroom. So a Kindle from Kaylee's bedroom. Canon ID photo printer, 3rd floor landing. Oh, yes. So in between Kaylee's bedroom and the bathroom and Maddie's bedroom, because Maddie's bedroom was right beside the bathroom door, they each had their own little fridge, and it looks like little dressers there where they kept, I guess, their own stuff. So that's where this printer was. A fire stick from floor 1 east bedroom. Floor 1 east bedroom is Bethany's bedroom. A fire stick, a beer can on the stairs between the 1st and 2nd floor, a JanSport backpack in the living room, a beer can empty, floor 1 east bedroom, that's Bethany's room on the vanity, a beer can open but full in Bethany's bedroom on the vanity. They took pictures of the kitchen floor by the door. So that's the sliding doors going out to the back. They took pictures of the kitchen counter and sink. Kitchen east end of countertop, the east end countertop. Kitchen east end of countertop. The east is, that would be right beside the stove, because there's no countertop on the east side of the kitchen. So I believe that the east end of countertop would be like right by the edge of the counter by the stove. Lower stairway from 1st to 2nd floor. Lower stairway from 1st to 2nd floor again. Exterior of the house, living room, front door, and closet. Oh, wait a minute. We've moved. NE Valley, Northeast Valley. What is this? Is this BRYAN KOHBERGER's place? Let's see where Northeast Valley is. NE Valley in Washington. I believe it is. Yeah, imagine being the photographer. Where's Northeast Valley? I believe this is going to be BRYAN KOHBERGER's apartment. Let me know if I'm right. I can't even imagine the fear Xana must have felt being chased by a masked man with you. Really, right? I can't even fathom it, you guys. Yeah, it's hard to understand, Jean. I agree. Is NE Valley, exterior of apartment, living room and front door, closet, living room, TV cabinet, close-up of TV cabinet, contents of TV cabinet, living room to kitchen. I think this is BRYAN KOHBERGER's apartment. Kitchen, bedroom, primary closet, bedroom, primary closet, floor, 2nd bedroom, and it was empty. So I do believe that this is BRYAN KOHBERGER's apartment, NE Valley. The bathroom, east wall, sink and shower. Documents found in living room, closet. Black glove. Yes, this is Bryan Kohberger's apartment. Black glove from north wall, living room closet, Walmart and Marshall's receipts, marker 2 and 3. Vacuum closet in living room, broom in closet with hair, close-up of broom, fire stick and cord from living room, TV, hair strands from bedroom, computer pad primary bedroom, hair strand from computer pad from primary bedroom, pillow from primary bedroom. Yeah, just by what I'm reading now, I can tell it is. Pillow close up with hair strand, computer tower from bedroom, door to office. Okay, now it's saying Wilson, short office. So this is his office at campus. So they've got pictures of door to the office and the interior. We're back to King Road again. Shoe print in the west yard. Window, 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 window. They don't say which window. Front doorknob. They must have taken swipes, blood swipes, I guess. This is probably evidence that they took like swipes. Xana Kernoodle. There's another picture of Xana. Marker 7 close up, which is Xana, because we see it here, marker 7. And then a close up of Xana. Xana Kernoodle phone, marker 8. Her phone close up. Her computer is marker 9. Ethan Chapin lower. Ethan Chapin leg injury. Ethan Chapin marker 10. Ethan Chapin uncovered with cell phone. Oh, so he had his cell phone on him? Ethan Chapin phone. Ethan left leg close up. Laptop computer in Madison Mogan's room. Close up of Madison Mogan's computer. Maddie Mogan's cell phone close up. Knife sheath on bed. Close up of the sheath showing straps. Sheath in place. Sheath in place. Sheath in place. Close up of front of sheath. So King Road. Close up of Madison Mogan. Jeez. Close up of Kaylee. A blanket on the bed. Comforter on Madison Mogan's bed. Madison Mogan and Kaylee Goncalves on their backs. Madison Mogan and Kaylee without comforter. Cell phone near Kaylee on the bed. Close up of a vape pen by Kaylee. Knife on beer pong table. Basement, main floor stairwell, west end. Second floor stairwell showing marker. Second floor, close up of basement, main floor stairwell. Okay. Basement to main floor stairwell. Okay. Suspected. Hello, distant areas. How are you, Kate? Suspected red stuff on basement to main floor stairwell on north wall. So that wall would have been the wall as you're going down the stairs to go out the bottom door. It would be on your right-hand side. Second floor, middle of living room, half wall, suspected red stuff on half wall. Living room, half wall, further west, suspected red stuff. Half wall, further west, suspected red stuff. Second floor, half wall. Basement, main wall, stairwell, west wall. Oh my gosh. Basement, main wall, stairwell, west wall, suspected. You know what? There was a stain. Main floor, hallway, outside west bedroom. That's the empty bedroom. Main floor, hallway, outside west bedroom. That's the empty bedroom. Main floor, hallway, north wall. It would be the wall going down towards Bethany's room on the left. Main floor, hallway, north wall. Main floor, hallway, north wall, suspected red stuff. Main floor, west bedroom, east wall, light switch. Main floor, east wall, switch. Main floor, east wall, light switch, suspected red stuff. Main floor, west bedroom, east wall, light switch, marker 29. Main floor, west bedroom, south wall, and bed. So there was a bed in the empty bedroom. Main floor, west bedroom wall. Close up of main floor, west bedroom, south wall. Because this west bedroom was empty. West bedroom side table. West bedroom side. Because this is saying main floor, west bedroom, which is empty. And then west bedroom side table, west bedroom side of bed and end table. This has got to be in Xana's room. West bedroom close up of red stuff. Main floor, west bedroom, west wall, bed and end table, end table. This is all, yeah. Main floor. They're saying main floor. The main floor is the first floor. I don't know. They're messing this all up. Some people call it, I don't know. West bedroom, west wall desk. The west bedroom is Xana's bedroom. West wall close up, west wall near mirror. West bedroom desk, west bedroom desk, west bedroom door, main floor, west bedroom floor and door, west bedroom floor entry to west bedroom, main floor hallway, south wall, main floor hallway, table in living room, kitchen floor, main floor to second floor, stairwell, half wall, second floor to third floor, stair rail, marker 41, and close-ups of that. Third floor, east bedroom, door and frame. East bedroom is Maddie's room. So Maddie's bedroom, door and frame. Maddie's bedroom, door and frame, marker. Maddie's bedroom, door open. Maddie's bedroom, door and frame with ruler. East bedroom, western wall. Third floor, east bedroom, which is Maddie's room, north and east walls and bed. Maddie's bedroom, north wall and bed. Maddie's bedroom, north and east wall. Maddie's bedroom, east wall. Maddie's bedroom, east wall and bed. Maddie's bedroom, east wall. Maddie's bedroom, east wall. Maddie's bedroom, closet and north wall. Again, north wall. Again, north wall, north wall. Maddie's bedroom, floor near bed. They say floor near bed, and then they say it again with the marker number. Maddie's door edge. Maddie's east wall. Maddie's bedroom, east wall and shelf. Maddie's bedroom, hallway, east hallway and doorway. Second floor hallway and east wall. Camera on the living room table. I never seen that. Second floor bedroom desk and laptop. I don't know. This could be in Dylan's room or Xana's room, because they just say second floor bedroom. There's 2 bedrooms on the second floor. They don't say which one. Desk and laptop. Desk drawer, Xana Kernodle's passport. Third floor, east bedroom, desk and contents. That's Maddie's bedroom, desk and contents. Close up of desk and contents in Maddie's room. Madison's driver's license and desk drawer. The west bedroom dresser, which is Kaylee's. And then Kaylee's driver's license and visa. Kaylee's desk and laptop. Kaylee's laptop. Laptop in box, third floor, west bedroom. So there's a laptop in Kaylee's room. Computer. They don't say where this computer is. Toilet and garbage can on main floor. Now, the main floor, some of them have called this the second floor. And some of them have called, like, they've got, they were using first, second, or third floor. Now they're going main floor. So you would think main floor is first floor, right? But no, they're using main floor as the second floor. It gets confusing. Garbage can and bathroom, main floor, blue latex glove. First floor, desk and computer. First floor, bedroom, end table, shelf, and laptop. First floor, end table and contents. Bethany Funk's driver's license and student ID. So see, they are main floor. They're back in, I believe this is all Bethany's room. Main floor, west bedroom, desk. That's the west bedroom. Main floor oh, it's so confusing, you guys. Because sometimes they call the main floor the second floor. And sometimes they've called the main floor the first floor. So I don't know. Main floor, west bedroom, bedroom, desk. Main floor, west bedroom, desk. I'm going to assume that that is in Xana's bedroom because we know that the first floor, west bedroom was empty. Blue powder. Glass and metal table against west wall in living room. Okay, that's where they had the good vibes thing above with the twinkly lights. Suspected red stuff on living room west wall. That's the wall between the living room and which would be Xana's bathroom. Floor 3 west bedroom west wall. So that's Kaylee's bedroom, the west wall. So that would be the outside wall, like going up and around the house. If you're looking at the house, it would be on the right-hand side going up and around the house. That's her west wall. Floor 3, west bedroom, west wall, close up. West bedroom, west wall marker. Marker 1, potential hair stain. 1, north hallway, floor 2. I don't know what that means. No. Jean, the red stuff that they were seeing on the wall, they feel that because there's the red splatter all along that hall leading to Xana's room, on the half wall and on the wall leading down the stairs to the first floor. So obviously something happened at that half wall. Did he get her a couple times there, like her arm, putting her arm up, trying to block it, and it sliced open her arm and it went down the stairwell? Floor 3, west bedroom, which is Kaylee's bedroom, wall close up. West bedroom, west wall. Marker 1, potential hair stain, north hallway, floor 2. Stair rail between floors 1 and 2. Stair rail between floors 1 and 2. Stair rail between floors 1 and 2. Swab of stain, bottom of handrail between floors 1 and 2. Remember they were talking about some red stuff being on that handrail? It could have been from whatever happened right there at that half wall. Close-up of marker B, swab of stain, bottom of handrail between floors 1 and 2, marker C. Swab of stain of the handrail. Okay, this is all the handrail. Swab from north side of half wall on floor 2. So remember I told you that there was all red stuff on that half wall? You would have to pass that half wall because that half wall, if you look over that half wall, you see the stairs going down to floor 1. If you continue down the hall, that goes towards Xana's room. So there was red stuff all along that half wall, which continued over top of the stairs and hit the wall there. So that would be if you're going down the stairs from the living room down to Bethany's floor, that would be the wall on the right. So I could see that happening. So these are all swabs from the half wall here, all these. Swab from living room table, second floor. Swab from living room table, second floor. 2 hallway swab from south wall. So these are all from a table in the living room. Floor 2 swab from south walls, from second floor hall. That's leading into Xana's room. All of these down to here. We're only at page 11 out of 28, you guys. So you see all the evidence they had. Marker 2, south wall, east wall. A lot of these are repetitive. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start scrolling. Like I said, you guys can always go back. We're on page 11. You can see it up here. A lot of this is repetitive. If I see anything new, I will stop on it. East wall stairs between floors 2 and 3. Marker J, blue post-it, close up. So there was a blue post-it note. East wall stairs between floors 1, between floor 2 and 3. So there was a post-it note there. Half wall between second and third floor, there was a stain there. Third floor ceiling outside of Maddie's bedroom, there were 3 stains on the ceiling outside of Maddie's bedroom. Oh my gosh. And they marked all those stains. Wow. 3 stains on the ceiling outside of Maddie's bedroom. So that's in between her bedroom and the bathroom. On the ceiling, you guys. And this is all close-ups. They're saying that they took pictures of it. Second floor door to west bedroom. That's Xana's bedroom. Door jam inside second floor west bedroom. That's Xana's bedroom. Garbage can inside of Xana's bedroom. A furry chair inside of Xana's bedroom. Item 3, 3 cigarette butts outside by sofa. So that would be on the back patio. Paper note east of Ford Explorer. Hair south side of second floor, half wall between V and W. So there was all kinds of red splatter that they took pictures of on that half wall and the wall leading to Xana's room. But there was hair there too. Third floor, east bedroom, Maddie's bedroom door, Maddie's bedroom door. This is close up. This is them measuring it. West bedroom door, second floor. That's Xana's room. There was hairs there. South kitchen window swab for DNA. Kitchen window, upper left over, okay, kitchen window. Okay, so these are so these are lifted prints from the window, from the west floor bedroom, second floor west bedroom floor prints, a lift from the second floor. This could be a footprint too. Footprint outside second floor east bedroom. That's the one that we're talking about, outside of Dylan's room. I told you it would come up. Yes, Jean, outside of Maddie's bedroom door on the ceiling, there was red stuff. And then they took a close-up of it, of that footprint outside of Dylan's bedroom. Okay, edge of sliding glass door, kitchen interior handle, sliding glass kitchen interior handle, close up. This is all that. Exterior handle, sliding glass door, exterior handle above. Okay. Kohberger. Oh, look at this new Kohberger. Left arm cropped, left arm and hand cropped. So they took pictures of his left arm and hand. Okay, we're back at King Road. Black polar penguin glove in front of residence, black polar penguin glove close up. Floyd's cannabis, screenshot of white sedan going by at 3:02. A Pennsylvania Washington State University sweatshirt they took. Indian Mountain Lake screenshot of 119 Lambston Gate record for 12/16, so December 16th. That is his parents' house. This is his parents' house. Screenshot of BRYAN KOHBERGER on 12/16 facing forward. So they got pictures of him going in and out of his parents' house. Because this is Indian Mountain Lake. This is his parents' house. Screenshot of BRYAN KOHBERGER on 12/16 facing window. Pennsylvania. Still shot of KOHBERGER at 4:11 a.m. on December 27th. This is somewhere in Pennsylvania, you guys. You know, he went back to Pennsylvania, back to his parents' house, right? So they've got a still shot of him at 4:11 a.m. on December 27th. Pennsylvania, four black garbage bags from 119 in back of a vehicle. Wow. So was he going to take the garbage somewhere else, you guys? Why would he have his garbage bags in the back of a vehicle? Was he planning? Is that all stuff that he was trying to get rid of? 4 black garbage bags from his parents' house in back of vehicle. And they got the contents of all 4. Tables with trash overview. 4 bags. Table 1 with trash bag, 3 bags total. Table 2 with trash bag, 2 contents, 3 bags total. Table 3 with trash bag, 3 contents, 2 bags total. So maybe there was bags inside of bags. I don't know. Table 4 with trash bag, 4 contents. Trash bag 2B, contents from bag 2B, 3 Q-tips. So he had stuff in trash bags that he was going to go get rid of somewhere else. Because bag 2B would be the contents of bag 2 and 3 bags total inside of that. And one of those bags inside of bag 2 had 3 Q-tips. Lambsden, this is his parents' house. The front of the house, a garage with open door, rear of a Elantra with bucket, front steps and front door. Room A is the foyer. Room B is the living room. Room B, they got pictures of documents. Room C is the dining room. Room D is the kitchen. First floor hallway. Room E is bathroom 1. Room F is bedroom 1. Bedroom 1 interior. Room G is bedroom 2 is the primary, so that was the master bedroom. Master bedroom interior. Room H, a hallway closet. Room I is a 3rd bedroom and the interior. Room J is the 2nd bathroom. Top of foyer stairs, lower foyer stairs. Room L is the basement hallway. Basement family room. Room K from hallway. So I'm assuming room K was Brian's bedroom. Because they've taken, and like here you just see 2 pictures of each room. There is a lot of pictures of bedroom K. So I am assuming that this bedroom K, room K, is where Brian was staying because they took tons of pictures in there. Family room, basement bathroom, laundry room, basement closet under stairs, garage, the north bay east wall with hallway door, garage north bay bucket close up, garage north bay south wall, wallet from room C in the dining room, wallet contents, a book from room C in the dining room, room D, AT&T bill on kitchen bar, room C, dining room paperwork in hutch, room K, Acer laptop on desk, Acer laptop, a closet. In the closet, there was a Samsung drive and a motherboard. So yeah, room K is the room that Brian KOHBERGER was staying in. at his parents'. Room K closet, another motherboard. Room C, a power supply for a computer. Room B, living room paper with password. Okay, room M, a basement bathroom cell phone was found. Basement bathroom cell phone. I don't know why they put this here twice. Maybe they took 2 pictures of it. Bedroom K, and I believe that this is his bedroom. A backpack, books inside the backpack, a face mask, prescription, a black hat and mask, driver's license and car title. That's all in Bryan Kohberger's bedroom. Bedroom 3, criminology psychology book. Bryan Kohberger's bedroom again, criminology books. Bedroom K, Seagate 1 terabyte and Samsung Drive. Clear plastic glove on floor near door. A WSU paperwork in room G. Room L, basement, black backpack, maroon colored notebook. Room L, basement backpack and contents. Side of house, garage door closed. White Elantra, left rear corner. Elantra's driver's door from rear, driver's door from front, driver's door, the front of the car, the passenger side, the windshield. And they got the VIN through the windshield. Garage basement door, basement hallway from garage, basement hallway to family room, basement hallway to room K, which was Bryan Kohberger's room. Room K from the door, room K from interior, room K bed, Elantra keys on bed, right? White Elantra driver's side front, white Elantra passenger side front, the Elantra front driver's side. Oh my God. Tons of pictures of the Elantra. If there's anything new other than this is the door, this is that. If they find anything in there, I will show it. Okay, so the Elantra driver's side front seat door compartment, the VIN on the driver's door, interior backseat driver's side, backside driver's side floor, the door panel, backseat door. Okay, Elantra, white Elantra truck and contents. Oh, I can guarantee you that's what they were looking for. So they got the trunk and the contents and all the compartments and the doors of front and back doors. The center console. They took the center console, gear shift, and dash. They took the white Elantra center console phone charger, center console open, insurance card from center console, the glove box and its contents, glove box content registration and receipts, trunk contents on floor, trunk contents and trunk spare tire compartment, rear floor mats stored in trunk. Why would you put your rear floor mats in your trunk unless you took them out so they would not get anything on them, right? Front passenger floor mat stored in trunk. Why would you have your floor mat stored in your trunk? Driver's side floor mat stored in trunk. Why? That is so he didn't get any evidence on his floor mats. Then they took pictures. We've seen all these pictures, you guys, of what they did after the search. They ripped the car apart. Okay, so they tested the seats in the front. Okay, a picture of Bryan Kohberger. Under Armour black shorts, a shutdown log, a Wi-Fi log, Wi-Fi artifacts Aruba, network authentication. Oh my God, I can't say it. SIM state manager. That's a state drive or something. On disk activity snapshot. Celebrate empty rows. So this is all going to be his call history, Moscow PD image. This is all going to be stuff that was on his Celebrate, that came back on the Celebrate, his full call history, maps, cache, calls, selfies, He's got a picture of Moscow PD there. Okay, so lab reports. So sheath side A, sheath side B, sheath side B top, sheath side A trace, sheath side A trace on the strap. Sheath side B trace, trace on the bottom, and then they took pictures of it. Front areas swabbed, Q-tips. Okay. So there it says right there that there was more on the top, the side. Okay. I'm not going to read through. Oh my gosh. Okay. Ethan. So this is all going to be Ethan until I say different. Because after Ethan, it's going to be Zaina. So I will say when we change to Zaina. So this is all going to be on Ethan. His body was received, upper body as received by medical examiner, lower body as received by medical examiner. Hang on a sec, you guys. Okay. Upper body cleaned. Chest, throat injury. Scalp wound on right side. Scalp wound on left center side. Wound near left ear. Wounds on back of left thigh. Side view of wounds to back of thigh. Close-up of wounds to left thigh. Close-up of wounds on inside of thigh. Side view of wounds to right leg. Close-up of wounds to right leg. Wounds to top of right hand and fingers. Right hand palm up. Wounds to top of left hand. Wounds to inside of left wrist. So during this, he probably woke up and tried to fight him off. Upper body as received by medical examiner. We're moving on to Xana. So this is going to be Xana until I tell you different. Upper body as received by medical examiner. Waist pelvic area as received by medical examiner. Lower body as received by medical examiner. Torso and partial legs unclothed and cleaned. Upper body unclothed and cleaned. Lower body legs unclothed and cleaned. Wounds to right side arm up. Wounds to face and front neck area. Wounds to right side of face and neck. Jeez. Wounds to scalp, face, neck, and shoulder, upper back, viewed from right side. Wounds to right side, top of head. Wounds to center of top of head. Oh my gosh, you guys. They messed up here. They put a Z instead of an X. Wounds to left side of face, neck. Wounds to fractures to skull. Wounds to right side from head to, oh my God, from head to abdomen viewed from right. Wounds to right leg viewed from right. Wounds to inside of right calf. Wounds to back and upper arm. Wounds to front of upper arm. Wounds to elbow area. Wounds to forearm. Wounds to top of right hand. Wounds to blade area of right hand. Wounds to thumb, right side, right hand and wrist. Wounds to tip of right thumb. Wounds to palm of right hand. She fought, you guys. She fought like a mother effer. Oh my gosh, that poor girl. Wounds to the knee. Wounds to side of torso and head and left arm. Wounds to top of left hand and wrist. Top left hand and fingers. Wounds to palm and inside of left wrist. Oh my gosh, she fought, you guys. She fought. Okay, now we're moving on to Maddie. Oh my gosh. And apparently, Kaylee's wounds were even worse. Could you imagine? Oh my God, I don't even know if I want to get into this. She did. She fought. Madison, upper body and head as received by medical examiner. Madison Mogan, lower torso and hip area as received. Torso and left as received. Okay, Maddie's injuries. Until I tell you different, these are all going to be Maddie's injuries. Torso and head areas cleaned. Wounds to face and neck from above. Wounds to face and neck from the right side. Wounds to right eye area. Wounds to left side of face, partial shoulder and neck from left. Wound above left ear. Wounds to neck and chest from above. Wounds to left breast and chest. Wounds near sternum held closed to show weapon imprint. Oh my gosh. Wounds to breastplate. Close-up of wounds to left shoulder. Wound to elbow area. Top of right hand, palm down. Palm of right hand. Wound to top of left hand. Injuries to top of left wrist. Wounds to inside of left arm, left hand and forearm, palm up. And those were Madison's injuries. Now we move on to Kaylee. Okay, as received. Cleaned. Okay, injuries to face viewed from above. Injuries to right side of face from the right side. Injuries to upper face and forehead viewed from above. Injuries to left side of face, partial and left shoulder area. Wounds to upper left side of scalp and forehead. Wounds to upper right side of scalp and forehead. So by both sides of her head. Jesus, take the wheel. Wounds to back of scalp. Wounds to back of scalp, head close up. Wounds and fractures to the skull. Wounds and fractures to skull from inside the cranium. Injuries to teeth. Injuries to inside lower lip area. Injuries to inside of mouth close up. Injuries to lower lid of right eye. Wounds to neck, left shoulder, and chest viewed from above. Close-up of wounds to left shoulder and upper chest. Wound to back of left upper arm. Wound to left elbow. Top of right hand, palm of right hand. Wounds to top of left hand and palm of left hand. Wow. Okay. We're on page 18. We got 10 more pages to go, you guys. A lot of this is just going to be skipped. If you want to go back and look at it again, you can. I'm just going to read out where these are from. These are audio and video that they got. So the 911 call, the first officer on scene, his body-worn camera. This is body-worn camera from police. So if I say body-worn camera, this is all going to be from police. Body-worn camera. Corner Club. Business record affidavit. And videos from the Corner Club. There looks like there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. A Cafe Artista business record affidavit and video. Bagel Shop business record affidavit and Bagel Shop video. Grub Truck business record affidavit and the Grub Truck video. 112 King Road pre-search video. There's 2 of part 1 and part 2. Latah County Sheriff's Office public record affidavit. Body-worn camera. Washington DMV public record affidavit. That's for BRYAN KOHBERGER. Changing his plates. You see it's November 18th right here. That's when he went in and changed his license and his plates. Floyd's Cannabis business record and camera footage from there. Camera footage from Indian Hills Road. That's a video camera of where his car was going. They got video camerage of it. Where is the page that these documents were dumped from? Okay. Sunset from the record. Sunset Mart. So there's their business record and then the video, all the video from that night. They got him at 3:28 a.m. going by there and again at 9:13 a.m. The Ridge Road video, these are going to be private residences. 401 and 329. Linda Lane business record affidavit. We all know the Linda Lane videos from Linda Lane and from video on King Road. This is the 1122 King Road. That was the house that was right beside the victim's house, right? All the Linda Lane stuff. This is going to be private residences. Paradise Drive video. The shop, the front door, the shop, the front door. This is different times that they got him passing by there. E&S business records and their video. Sunset Mart in Pullman, their business records and video that they have. WSU public records. This is all their video footage that they gave to police of Brian's comings and goings, right? Costco business record affidavit, Costco in Clarkston, the video, the Costco video, we've seen that. U.S. Chef Store business and their video. Remember this, the next morning when he went to Albertsons, that's their video there. Albertsons again, video. William Menard, a video of trash pull from, okay, so this is going to be one of the officers when they pulled the trash on December 27th at 8:32 a.m. from, this is his parents' address. Amanda Kohlberger interview, an hour and 6 minutes. 911 call transcript, map of the state of Idaho, map of Pullman, Moscow, Lewiston, and Clarkston. So these are all maps of the area. Dylan Mortensen phone records summary. Bethany Funk's phone record summary and text messages. Jack Decor's phone records and text messages. Corner Club affidavit of financial records. These are going to be the receipts from the Corner Club for Maddie and Kaylee. The Grub Truck receipts for Kaylee. Death certificates for all 4 victims. Autopsy reports for all 4 victims. NMS Labs, the toxicology reports for all 4 victims. And there was no DRUGS in any other systems, you guys. We've seen the autopsy reports. DoorDash, the delivery, that was Xana's food that she had ordered that night that she got just before this happened. Make and model charts for vehicles, vehicle movement, PowerPoints. LCSO business records for Bryan Kohlberger. Washington Certified Department of Licensing, title and documents for Bryan Kohlberger. This is when he went and changed his car over. These records here, and he changed his license. WSU declaration for Bryan Kohlberger graduate school records. These are all records from Washington State University regarding everything that happened with Brian. We've gone over a lot of this, what he did there, like his applications and all that shit. Okay, AT&T records for Bryan Kohlberger from 11/12/22 to 11/13/22, and from 6/23/22 to 12/23/22. So from June of 2022 right through to December 23rd, 2022, and the day before and day of the incidents. These are all AT&T records for Madison, Xana, Indian Mountain Lakes business records, and gate activity records. That's for his parents because it was a gated community. So they've got their business records, the gate activity from the business records, Strava business records, profile records. Here is his parents' place again, diagram of residence, for first floor basement, and room K. So I am saying that room K is where Bryan Kohlberger stayed. Amazon business records, purchase records, and they got all the purchase records from January 5th of 2022 to December 13th, 2022. Okay, Amazon certificate of business record, Amazon record subscriptions and click activity. Okay, so Ada County Jail. And this is once he's been arrested, his dietary requests. DeSales, his final, his crime scene scenario. Remember when he did that? What you should do when you get to a crime scene and every step that should be taken, blah, blah, blah. Palauzi, Mall, records, hours of operation, Target, hours of operation, Marshall's business record affidavit and hours of operation, Pennsylvania State Employees Credit Union, business records for BRYAN KOHBERGER. So all his banking information from the State Employees Credit Union from January, I don't know, there's a bunch of pages here. Anyway, these are all records from September of 2022 right through to the end of 2022. Dorsey, I'll give that when I'm done. Okay, so Washington State Trust Bank records. I would believe that these are records for BRYAN KOHBERGER. Forrest Dax Inc. Crypto.com business records and account information and conversations, transaction records, login details, user IDs, Dick's Sporting Goods. We know that he got stuff there, right? And they've got his receipts from there, the same as Marshall's, PNC Bank records, affidavits, PayPal business records and affidavits, PayPal records for account ending in this. I'm assuming that this could be it's one of the victims or Brian's. We don't know. It doesn't say. Target business records, Under Armour business records, Venmo business records, Walmart purchase history, Pullman and East. Okay, so these are Walmart records for Brian. Financial summary, Douglas, bloodstain painter, analyst, Amanda KOHBERGER, interview, transcript, forensic DNA. So these are all the forensic reports that they got from all the evidence that we just went over. Latent prints, everything, biologies, everything, DNA, everything. So that's just going to list all the reports that they got back for all the evidence that we just went through that they collected. The latent prints, everything. So these are all the reports. Series 4, physical evidence. The K-bar and sheath. King Road diagram. 3D stacked floors. The ground, the level 2, level 3. And they had this model made, right? What a waste of what, $30,000 to have this model of the King Road house made. And it's only for demonstrative exhibits only. So it wasn't evidence. It was just so they could point to rooms and stuff like that. Right? The map of King Road pictures, fingerprint lifts. So this, we've already gone through all this, you guys. This is the evidence that they took, the laptops, the K-bar knife sheath, the knife from the beer pong, the swabs, the laptops, the iPads, all the phones, everything, a blood card for each of the victims. See, it's going over again, the right socks, all that. So they're just going over the reports and what item number they are, the autopsy, where it's stated for this and for this and for this. You know what I mean? So we've gone over all this. There's nothing that we're missing. Major crime prints for all the victims, stuff like that. The autopsy reports, the DNA swabs of Bethany and Dylan, all the DNA swabs that they did of suspects, all the stain swabs, objects, and everything that they've collected. DNA swabs. Look at all these buccal swabs from all these different people. There's Showalter. There's all kinds of them here. Dylan. Anyway, all the buccal swabs that they did for different people that were called in as possible suspects, right? Nail clippings and everything. The trash pulls that they did. We went over this. Where they found the Q-tip, right? That was in his car. He had 3 bags or 4 bags of garbage in his car, and there's things that they found in those garbage bags that they sent. Here again, they're showing from his apartment, the Walmart receipt and Dickie's tag. We've gone over all this, right? The buccal swab from Brian from when he went to the jail, the computer tower from his place. This is all stuff that is in evidence. We've already gone through all of this and where they found it, when they found it, and everything. Grub truck receipts, Hyundai Elantra, the key, the medical gloves, the shorts, his sweatshirt, underarm shorts, car registration, receipts found on the floor, prints from Showalter and all that, from Connor, from all the friends and everything. His photograph from the DMV, all that stuff. We've gone through all this. The Amazon, the purchase of the Amazon and the sharpener, the supplements, Dylan Mortensen's interviews. We've already gone all over this. The Sunset Mart, Cafe Artista, Bagel Shop, Corner Club, Chef Store. So this is all stuff that we've gone over. Now, PayPal and DVD data for Kohberger, Latah County Jail calls and notes, iCloud data for BRYAN KOHBERGER, TikTok data for Dylan and Bethany, a OneDrive data for BRYAN KOHBERGER photos and search warrant on person, Lambden, the vehicle pictures. We've seen all those. Amanda Kohberger interview, Mary Ann Kohberger interview, Michael Kohberger interview, autopsy and x-rays of all the victims, the vehicles of all the vehicles at his parents' place right here. All these are vehicles that were at BRYAN KOHBERGER's parents' place. These are all jail calls. Instagram, the DNA extracts from the K-bar, Hyundai thumb drives. We got all this. The cast reports and logs, prints from all the victims surviving or deceased. Phone, Samsung phone for BRYAN KOHBERGER. Room M. Looks like there was a couple phones. Hard drive from room K. Hard drives from room K. Acer laptop, room K. So BRYAN KOHBERGER was in room K. I was correct. Latah County Jail, BRYAN KOHBERGER, the call, mail, and notes. And fingerprints of Bethany and 215 Hyundai Elantra and vegan supplements. So that's that. Oh my God, you guys. Okay, so I'm going to end there, you guys. I'm going to end there, and I'm going to have to do a second reading of all of the ones that we haven't got to yet. So let me just get this written down. I will do it probably Monday or Tuesday, because tomorrow I have the live mini reads for you guys. 21 states. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to wrap it up here. Thank you for being here with me to go over all of this. And what I will do is I will pick up, because there's still quite a bit that I want to go over with you guys and talk to you guys about. So as soon as, well, tomorrow I've got the live mini reads to do at 11 a.m. Eastern. If you want your own mini read, come and see me. We'll be doing it live tomorrow morning, 11 a.m. Eastern. And then, so I will pick this back up Monday or Tuesday. So make sure you're subscribed, hit that notification bell so you're made aware when I go live. And we still got quite a bit to go through, and we will pick it back up Monday or Tuesday. Okay, so until then, thank you, you guys, for being here. I've been here for 3.5 hours. I've got to get going. So I will see you guys Monday or Tuesday with the remaining things that we need to go over. Till then, please take care of yourselves. Please stay safe. Always be aware of your surroundings. I love you guys to the moon and back.